Denmark's Nicky Pedersen stood on top of the podium in Tampere, Finland, as winner of round 2 of the series. The World Championship arrived in the north of Finland with all riders fully fit and ready to race on what is now the biggest track of the 12-round series. Slovenia's Mati Zegar, who led after round 1, found the opening heats hard and difficult to score points, and soon dropped away as the likes of Woofenden, Hampel and Kasperzak raced to places in the semis, along with Sweden's Andreas Jonsson, Australia's Jason Doyle and Denmark's Jepsen Jensen. The current world champion Greg Hancock also made the semis but failed to reach the final, something that 2013 champion Woofenden did, along with former 3-time champion Pedersen. In the final, Pedersen in blue got the better start over Woofenden, a lead he kept until the checkered flag to take his first series win in 3 years.
Of course, the confident, you know, when you win a Grand Prix, you need to enjoy that time. I worked hard, as everybody knows.
Amazing quality audio.
The gear has been going good so far.
From a phone.
When you then get the bonus to win the Grand Prix, it's good for the team and always good for me as well.
Despite his second place in Finland, Britain's Ty Woofenden now leads the World Championship after round 2. Mati Zegar, who led after round 1, drops to equal 4th, with Poland's Jarek Hampel now 3rd, and Denmark's Nicky Pedersen 2nd, 3 points behind the 2013 World Champion.
I didn't win the Grand Prix, but finished with the most points, and, you know, like 2013, points make prizes, but, you know, it's too early in the season to be, you know, counting the chickens before they've hatched. So, yeah, just get my head down and keep trying to score points.
So the series moves south to the Czech Republic and the capital Prague for round 3. The Markéta Stadium hosts its 19th consecutive GP this weekend, and it's the first time the World Championship has ever held a back-to-back race weekend. So is it something the riders feel they'll benefit from, especially if they're carrying good form coming into the meeting?
It feels pretty good to be back here again so quick, you know, but you know, new meeting, new competition, and you know, you got to be on it again.
We get into such a routine, like going to school or going to work every day. You know, it's every 2 weeks you have a Grand Prix. You know, these races take a little more out of you than your regular league racing, probably because it's just a personal goal you're trying to achieve.
In Prague, you know, this place sometimes it's been good for me, sometimes not. So I don't know what I need to expect. Just stay focused and try to go good.
Hello there and a very warm welcome to the Markéta Stadium here in Prague, the Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix, the 19th time that we've been here. A new contract extension as well, which means we'll be here for another 3 years, so the 20th anniversary of the first staging coming up next year. Kelvin Tatum alongside me in commentary as always tonight. Looking forward to this one, good atmosphere, and very much looking forward to a good night of Speedway, Kel.
Yeah, healthy crowd in, Nigel, good atmosphere, anticipation in the air, should be a good one. Track conditions look terrific. Rain earlier this week did them a favour. It's penetrated the base of the track and they've been able to just keep it under control with the water truck. Looking at riders yesterday, Nigel, I think that majority of them were really quite enjoying it.
Yep, so heat number 1 just a few moments away, and with the current standings in the World Championship, it's all very tight. Ty Woofenden, who said in his interview there he didn't win a couple of weeks ago, but he finished top scorer on the night. 22 points for him. Nicky Pedersen on 19. It's all very tight, and heat number 1 is coming up shortly.
Yeah, it is tight with the standings right now, as you rightly say, and this is an opportunity. I think this is very important Grand Prix, even at this very early stage, because we have to wait over a month before the next one. You want to go away from this meeting with positive feelings. So a good result here tonight will set you up and be a little more relaxed while you're waiting for the Cardiff Millennium Stadium to come around at the beginning of July. We've got the World Cup, of course, coming in June, but with the big gap between the 3rd and 4th rounds, I just sense that riders would really want to go away from the Markéta Stadium tonight, having scored a hatful of points and satisfied with their night's work.
So here we see Troy Batchelor, the man in the red helmet colour, who so far has had 1 or 2 injury problems in 2015, could do with a clean run of action tonight. Has had those injuries riding for Swindon in the British Elite League. Certainly on the bank holiday Monday he came a cropper, and clearly not 100% when it came to Grand Prix Speedway, but here we go. Heat number 1 coming up, the anticipation rising for the first race of the night. Here in Prague, the first race, Troy Batchelor off the inside in red. Chris Harris of Great Britain, gate 2 in blue. Michael Jepsen Jensen, his debut full-time Grand Prix campaign of 3. And Chris Holder, 7 Grand Prix points so far, 7 adrift of the top 8. Going off the outside gate, always vital to make a good start, Kelvin Tatum.
It is, and gate 4 can be troublesome. It's a long way from there. Last year's Grand Prix, no winners from the outside, so Chris Holder's going to have to come up with something a little bit special. It is quite tight going into the corners, so starting is going to be vital. Got to say, the inside gate should be an advantage here this evening.
Here we go. Craig Ackroyd is our referee, and off the inside, Batchelor has made a good one. A beauty from Holder.
Wow.
Sweeps across the outside. That was vintage Chris Holder. It's Batchelor in second place with Chris Harris third, and Michael Jepsen Jensen is at the back right now. But Chris Holder, you said it, Kelvin, it's a long way from gate number 4, but Chris Holder made it really look easy there.
Well, he broke the hoodoo from last year, didn't he, right from the get-go here. A fabulous start from the former world champion. Really good out in front. Fabulous first corner. Troy Batchelor just got there with him, and Harris momentarily actually dropped the clutch quite early, but couldn't get there with Jepsen Jensen back in 4th place. But this is the sort of ride that Chris Holder needs. Struggling for confidence early season. He's looking good out in front.
I think he's admitted in public, really, that he knows that this is a big Grand Prix for him tonight for his overall season. He's not really got started in the GP, but he's looking good here. Batchelor in second spot, and Jepsen Jensen is closing that gap on Chris Harris, and Jepsen Jensen looks as though he's got a bit of speed. Can he get past Harris? I think Harris has done enough to hold the line, but what a start from Chris Holder in the yellow helmet. Very impressive indeed. Chris Holder with his fellow Australian Troy Batchelor running second there, and Chris Harris in third place, even though he came under pressure from Jepsen Jensen. But that, to be fair, was superb from Chris Holder.
Indeed it was. What a start from the outside from Holder. That was vintage.
Yep, Holder the winner with Batchelor in second place. Third was Chris Harris, and trailing at the back on that occasion was Michael Jepsen Jensen of Denmark. But gate number 4, and it worked a treat for the former world champion.
Well, this is smashing. Ideal way to start the meeting. The bike digs in and he comes charging across from the outside. Jepsen Jensen does him a favour because he misses it, and he's got that little bit of extra racing room, but take nothing away from the Australian. He comes roaring away from the outside gate and picks up a very useful 3 points. A little bit of battling early on with Batchelor in second place and Harris creeping around the inside, but Harris then actually loses a little bit of momentum as the race comes towards its conclusion, with Jepsen Jensen beginning to put him under pressure as they get towards the checkered flag. Holder out in front. Good style, and clearly enjoyed that opening race, and his nerves will be well and truly settled.
Well, Chris Holder, who started his European career with the Isle of Wight Islanders in the UK, and I know there are people involved in commercial backing of tonight's event that are also involved in trying to revive Speedway at the Isle of Wight as well in the UK, so we wish them all the very best there. 1 or 2 last-minute adjustments for the bikes, and Nicky Pedersen, I wonder if there's a problem here, or whether he's just... Yep, it is.
There is, because I've got a spare bike alongside him. There's something going on with the carburettor there, I believe.
54 seconds left.
Wonder whether there's the carburettor's flooding. This is not ideal. The man who's been in tip-top form everywhere, he's been piling the points in. 43 seconds to go. Pedersen, far from ideal start. Having to change the bike he chose from yesterday. Now they've sorted it. Back on the original bike. You can see a little bit of panic stations going on there.
I hope those boys have sorted it for their sake, because if they haven't, they'll feel the wrath of Nicky.
May do. He's not always known as the most patient man in the world, but he's up at tapes, and a competitive-looking heat number 2.
Yep, here we go then. Off the inside, Andreas Jonsson had a good meeting last time out 7 days ago in Finland. Nicky Pedersen goes off gate number 2, had an even better round. Niels Christian Iversen goes off gate 3 in white, the Dane, and Maciej Janowski of Poland going off the outside. He's had his injury problems, Maciej Janowski. Heat number 2, it is then here in the Markéta Stadium, Prague. Away from the start, it's a good one from Jonsson. Oh, they're all squeezed up, and that man has gone down now in white. That's Niels Christian Iversen.
Tell you what, that was really tight. The red light's got to come on. Great start initially from both Andres Jonsson and Maciej Janowski, and Pedersen there roars straight back into the paddock to make sure, but Iversen, the meat in the sandwich there, it is narrow here, and when you've got 4 riders trying to squeeze into the first corner, there's very little racing room at all, and at this level there's no way people are going to back out of it. And when we see the replay, you'll see how Pedersen keeps the throttle on, tapes up, clutches out. Jonsson makes a good start. They just come charging there, with Janowski once again coming across from the outside, and unfortunately for Iversen, he gets just clipped coming into the corner here.
Janowski will be gutted that he's got to do it all again.
It'll be all 4 back. I can't believe that Craig Ackroyd, the referee, will be taking anybody out for that. That was a classic case of bunching as they entered that first corner. You see here now, his leg's just taken away there. Pedersen can't get out of the way of him with Jonsson right alongside him, but some concerns for Iversen.
Well, I hope he's going to be okay, because Niels, of course, last August saw his season grind to a halt with a crash in Gorzów. Just as they've called the ambulance, he's actually got to his feet, which is great news. Niels is up on his feet.
Just taking his time.
I'd get a lift for the ambulance, wouldn't you? It's a long walk back to the pits.
I would, yeah.
Oh, he's walking.
Yeah, he's a
I'd
fit
take
man.
a lift.
He's a fit guy, isn't he? He just wants to walk that off. But not the ideal way to start your night, is it? You know, tough first corner, bounce against the track. He hasn't been quite as consistent this year as he has in previous. Possibly 1 or 2 set-up issues. Just obviously gave his left hand a bit of a whack as he went down on the track, and not the ideal start for him. This is not a bad ploy, in actual fact. It gives his team a little bit more time just to straighten the bike out and make sure there's no problems with it. And Pedersen roared straight back to the paddock as well to make sure his bike was all A-OK. But yeah, a slight delay now for sure.
Yep, so the riders and their pit crew just making sure everything's okay. Andreas Jonsson had that decent round last time out in Finland. Niels Christian Iversen crosses the halfway line back towards the pits area. And Pedersen with a last-minute panic there ahead of the second race, but certainly looked good when the tapes went up. Down in the pits is our pit reporter, Steve Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. I've just had a word with Nicky Pedersen's team. It was, as Kelvin suspected, a carburetor problem with the first bike. They're going to persevere with it for the rerun. He was quite excitable, as you can imagine, when he came back in the pits, and everyone's jumped on the bikes like a hive of bees. But he is settled again now, and expect him to make a much better start in the rerun. Just Kelvin, on that, you know, again, a little unsettling for the guys with the delay now.
For who, Steve?
Just Nicky then being unsettled at the start that time with the bike problem?
Possibly, yeah. He will be able to regroup and be a little bit calmer as he gets on the bike for the rerun, because it was panic stations building up to that race. There's no question of that. Far from ideal having some sort of small issue just as you're about to take your line up for your first ride. Iversen's still trudging back to the paddock, but no, Nicky will be relishing the chance for a second chance, because it didn't quite go to plan because Janowski made a blinder coming from the outside.
Gate 4's worked a treat,
yeah,
hasn't it?
as I say, last year Gate 4 was a nightmare. It really was a graveyard. In the opening 2 races, on the evidence of what we've seen, it looks like it's the one to be on. But Iversen will take his time. His crew will be working furiously to make sure the bike's okay. When the bike goes down like this, Nigel, you'll see a situation where the chains will all get full of dirt. Clutch will have taken a real good thump. Just take a few moments to make sure that they're all in fine order before they go out for the rerun.
Well, significantly, of course, this is the last Grand Prix that we have before we go into an earlier than usual World Cup break. It's 6 weeks before the next Grand Prix.
Yeah,
and
unusual.
The next one, would you believe, is Cardiff.
Yeah, it is.
In the Millennium Stadium.
That's, you know, a fabulous venue, and we've been there on numerous occasions. We always have a real party atmosphere there with the Brits turning out. And it's a special evening of Speedway, that's for sure. Pedersen beginning to make himself prepared for the rerun, and as we were chatting with Steve, you know, it's not ideal that you come out, you're focused on trying to make the start, and suddenly there's a problem with the bike. Got to say, the team reacted brilliantly there. They had a second bike out on the track in seconds, so very organised in the pits with his staff. And Pedersen, just going on from that, has been in fabulous form. I haven't seen him ride as well as this for several years, and Just, you know, subsequently after the win last weekend, he has piled the points in for his Polish and Swedish clubs.
Yeah, and he's admitted, Nicky has admitted that the hard work that he put in during the winter. What impresses me about Nicky is that as soon as the season finishes, he's out there meeting sponsors. He's trying to sort everything out for the following year. That no sooner the checkered flag has fallen on one season, he doesn't go on holiday straight away. He doesn't do anything like that. He gets down to work. Working with sponsors, working with his pit crew, if you like, and his technical team to prepare for the following season. There's no rest.
No, you can't fault him for his effort and the way he turns himself out and the way they handle the business. It's very impressive indeed, as has his performances been this year. Janowski, what a start that was, Nigel, from the outside. It's not always easy for a rider to replicate that. We see it so many times where a boy hits the front, the red lights come on, and he's the one that struggles to replicate the sort of start that he did initially, and particularly at this level and on a track where it's a little narrow going in the corners. It really does put a lot of pressure on making sure that you can just get your nose in front as you go in the turns.
Good to see former riders involved with the Czech Republic Grand Prix here as well. Thomas Topinka, well known to Kings Lynn fans in the UK, rode for Workington as well. Thomas Topinka, he was involved with the track preparation for this meeting. Pavel Ondřesík is a big player here as well with the Auto Club Marketa. Good to see the boys who we know from British Speedway, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Georgi Stansel is here as well, along with his father Yuri Stansel. Always good to see the Stansel boys. And here we have heat number 2, Andreas Jonsson off the inside in red. Nicky Pedersen goes off gate number 2 in blue. Niels Christian Iversen gate 3 in white. And Maciej Janowski going off the outside. Second time of asking, heat number 2, can Janowski produce a bit of magic off the outside?
Nice one. Yeah, he'll be hoping so, because it was an electric start he made initially. Jonsson was pretty competitive also from the inside. Pedersen will be the sort of character that may well be able to capitalise here. Start Marshall now, gets them under control. Here we go.
Heat number 2, green light is on. And they're away again, and Janowski absolutely stunning from gate number 4. The moment he dropped the clutch, you could see the speed as he charged toward the first turn, and Janowski has the lead. Nicky Pedersen is second. Third place in red is Andreas Jonsson, and here around the outside comes Niels Christian Iversen, but there's no room. Jonsson blocks the way through. Iversen's coming back for more, but Jonsson goes square, and this is just for a point, remember. The lead, though, is with Maciej Janowski. There's a battle at the front and a battle at the back here now.
There is indeed, and Janowski, all credit to him, he had the composure and he really absolutely slam dunked it once again. Brilliant start from the outside. Pedersen pushing hard in second place. I can tell you what, Niels Christian Iversen threw the kitchen sink on the first 2 laps at Andreas Jonsson in third place, but a lap to go. Pedersen pushing hard in second place, but Janowski looking good.
Yeah, he certainly is. Nicky Pedersen is really winding it on, though, having a real go. He's going to go wide into turns 3 and 4. He's going to look up to try and pip him up the inside, but Janowski has done enough, and the Polish fans in the crowd are delighted with that. He's had his injury problems this season, Maciej Janowski. He's missed a few meetings for Pool in the UK, but my goodness, that was tip-top form for Maciej Janowski, and 2 Pool Pirates riders have won the first 2 heats here in Prague tonight.
They have indeed, and in fine style too. Gate 4 working a treat for them, and the second time of asking, Janowski gets the points.
Certainly did. It's Janowski, Pedersen, Jonsson and Iversen, the finishing order there, and fair play to Maciej Janowski, because he had the lead in the first staging of the race when it was stopped, and he managed to do it again as well, and that is always a big test of character.
It is, and he comes through with flying colours here. Pedersen makes a smashing start from gate 2, gets the better of Jonsson, but the man that makes the best start of all is Janowski, sweeping from the outside. Clean pair of heels, he shows the opposition down the back straight. Really tight tussle between Iversen and Jonsson on the early part of the race, and I've got to say that Iversen, I thought for a moment he was going to get the better of the Swedish rider here, but Andreas Jonsson slams the door shut, and Iversen, try as he might, he just cannot find a way through to get into a point scoring position. Pedersen comes on strong at the end of the race, with Janowski having to ride just a little bit more defensively as they come towards the checkered flag, but all in all, Maciej Janowski, with that knee injury he sustained early season, a great start to tonight.
Yep, Superb. Now, there'll be a big question mark over this fella.
Yeah.
Thomas H. Jonasson limping badly in discomfort after his crash last weekend in Finland.
Didn't practice. Didn't look that dramatic at the time, but must have fallen awkwardly and twisted the knee, and quite clearly is having some issues. And it will be interesting to see how competitive he is, because, as I said, he's sat out practice, hasn't ridden since, and I'm sure there'll be some question marks about how fit and the level of performance. Interesting to see the man on the inside here, Václav Milik.
The wild card. And it's his third Grand Prix. Milik off the inside in red. Matti Zegar goes off gate 2 in blue. Thomas H. Jonasson goes off 3 in white. And Krzysztof Kasperzak, on his day, can be the world's best rider. It depends what sort of, shall we say, setup he's got on the bike. And
which
whether
Kasperzak's here.
Yeah, which Kasperzak is here, yeah. And he's off the favoured gate 4, which has been favourable in the first 2 heats. So let's see if it's special K here off gate number 4. It is. Away from the start, Zegar off 2 has made a good one. Now Kasperzak is going wide to try and get the drive around the outside, down the back straight. No room because Zegar has blocked the room, and Kasperzak is second, and Thomas H. Jonasson battling through the pain barrier is third, with Milik at the back right now. But that was a good start from Zegar, super smooth from the Slovenian from gate number 2.
Well, complete reversal of what he did last week in Tampere, where he started poorly. He started fine here. Terrific start out at gate 2, and once this man hits the front, he's silky smooth and looks really very impressive. Kasperzak momentarily putting him under pressure as they came out of turn 2 in the opening lap, but they're clearing off. Thomas H. Jonasson, third place. Milik, well, he just couldn't quite get there off the inside. It's about the big guns out in front here. Zegar a lap to go, dominant.
Yeah, looking good. Kasperzak in second. Milik almost collects the back wheel of Jonasson there. That was almost a nasty incident, but thankfully he avoided the back wheel. Milik's giving it everything now towards the end of the race, but I think Jonasson... and here
once
comes...
again!
Just about holds on, Thomas H. Jonasson.
He just locked up momentarily there, and Milik was coming at him like a train, and he very nearly ran in the back of him, just avoiding him. That man, of course, missed all the fireworks behind him on the last lap. Zegar, textbook stuff from him, brilliant away from the tapes. Gate 2 working a treat for him. And as I say, he started poorly last week, finished well, but he's really picked it up. Great ride from Zegar.
Zegar the winner, Kasperzak second, Jonasson third, Milik at the back. Your finishing order for that one. I'll tell you what, just looking at heat 7, Zegar, Woofenden, Pedersen. Heat 7.
Tasty.
That's not bad, is it?
Very tasty indeed. And Zegar, when he's in this sort of form, he's a potential winner on the night. Great start from him. He's a tall man, but he has a very nice style. He's tidy on the bike. He's textbook, in actual fact. He's a classic style. Comes under pressure initially from Kasperzak, but Kasperzak, once they settle down, has no answer to the man out in front. Big battle for third place. Thomas H. Jonasson maybe just running out of speed towards the back end of the race, because Václav Milik, the young Czech Republic rider, comes charging hard towards the end of the race, very nearly clipping the back of him there. And once again, coming off the last corner as well, with Jonasson just momentarily locking up there, got awfully close, but Zegar controlled the race from start to finish.
Good stuff. Matti Zegar making his 56th appearance in Grand Prix Speedway tonight. 2 GP wins under his belt. And, of course, 10 finals. And here we look towards heat number 4. After this race, every rider will have completed 1 ride here in the Markéta Stadium in Prague. Here is Woofenden, the leader of the series, the former world champion who has won the last 2 rounds here, trying to emulate Jason Crump, who won 3 years on the trot here. Can Woofenden make it a memorable treble tonight? Heat number 4 it is then. Let's take a look across the grid for you. Woofenden off the inside in red. Jarek Ampel goes off gate 2 in blue. Jason Doyle off gate 3 in white. And Greg Hancock off the outside in yellow, looking very, very reminiscent of his world champion days of 1997. Greg Hancock, because the Kevlar design, the race suit that he's wearing, Greg Hancock, this is Jason Doyle, by the way, but here we see him, yep. There we are. Those Kevlars remind you very much of 1997.
Bit of a retro suit here for the season for Herbie Hancock. Big race this, super lineup.
Here we go, heat number 4, and Wooffinden's made a good one, but what about Hancock from the outside? Gate number 4 working a treat once again. Now Hampel trying to go around the outside. Woffinden who closes the door, and he had to as well, because Hampel was threatening to pounce. This is vintage Greg Hancock from the outside. Gate number 4 has the lead, has the race under control. Woffinden is second. It's Jason Doyle third, and Jarek Hampel at the back.
Well, Doyle there was very forceful to get the better of the pole. Jarek Hampel, he came round the outside. Very brave move indeed. What a start that was from the outside. Gate 4 working brilliantly in the opening races. Wooffinden's got speed though. Keep your eyes on Ty Woofinden. Oh, such a shame for Jason Doyle getting it wrong after making that big move.
The red lights are on.
Yeah, and it was coming on. I tell you what, Woofinden, be interesting to see there. I get a feeling we're going to have a rerun because Woofinden was putting a lot of pressure on the world champion out in front. But that's a shame for Doyle.
That was an awkward one as well, Calv. Just hope he's going to be okay.
I just caught it out of my peripheral vision, Nigel. I was just looking at Woofinden putting...
He span, landed awkwardly.
Right.
The replay will probably prove me wrong now. But anyway.
Well, we'll wait and see.
I think he span round and just landed awkwardly. He's still down now. Let's hope he's going to be okay.
Yeah, shame for him. He started the Grand Prix Series well. He made the semi-final last week in Tampere, and he's got points on the board. He's up, so he's going to be pleased. He will be excluded. Here we'll see it again. The two boys really having a go at the front. He's all on his own. Comes into that first corner. Yeah, the back wheel just lets go on him. Catches him out. Just lands slightly awfully. You can see it's quite slick there now already. Back tire just let go on it. Not really an error there from the rider. Just a touch of bad luck. And he's excluded, and he'll just have to take a few deep breaths. Interesting to see if Craig Ackroyd, the referee, calls for a rerun, because I just sensed that there was a little bit more racing to be done. Woofinden was coming on really strong, and Hancock, I've got to say, he must have had eyes in the back of his head.
Well, we assume it's a rerun with Jason Doyle excluded from that. Good to see that he's walking away, though. That's great news. Doyle really has come on in leaps and bounds as a Speedway rider. Arrived on the international stage a couple of years ago when he made his World Cup debut in Czestochowa.
Absolutely. Last 2 years have been smashing for him, and he qualified by right, and on the evidence of his performances so far this season, he feels quite comfortable at this level. We're going to get a rerun.
Yep.
That man there will be disappointed, of course, because he was very nearly at the conclusion of the race.
Thought Woofinden was putting him under a bit of pressure there, though.
He was generating more speed. He was working the track. Of course, Woofinden loves this place. He's won here the last 2 years. We're seeing just slips off there. It's unfortunate for Doyle. Awkward fall. And he'll be... I think he's got a lift back with the ambulance, so he's taking the easy route, whereas Everson trudged right the way back. But yeah, it was an interesting thing. And now Hancock, once again, this is a classic example, as we saw earlier on, with Janowski having to repeat the sort of start from the outside. The world champion, Greg Hancock, is going to have to come up with something similar.
Yeah, fingers crossed Doyley's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
Just needed a taxi back.
Yeah, no bad thing.
Fair enough. Long way back from the...
4 more chances to make the semi-finals, of course, and better to get that out of the way early, so you've got the opportunity for 12 points to get your meeting back on track, but just puts an added touch of pressure on you. There's no question of that. We've got the 2 minutes now on. The Meridian Lifts clock is now counting down, and for those boys back in the paddock now to get themselves ready to get back in. But that man there, the pressure will be on him, Nigel. This is not ideal. You've done the hard yards. OK, you're coming under pressure, but he would have felt that he would have been, in the driving seat. This man here, he'll be just looking to try and make a touch better start because he had a lot of speed. If he hits the front, I doubt very much that the other two boys will be able to peg him back.
Nice to see Ty doing a little bit of cleaning of the bike there, getting his hands dirty. Fair play to him.
Absolutely.
So
tough game as a Speedway rider.
Yeah. Heat 4.
Got to ride it, you got to clean it.
For some reason I can never imagine you cleaning your own bike, Kel.
Oh, thanks very much.
No,
I've done the hard yards, don't you worry about that.
Yeah. Heat number 4 coming up then. 3 riders only. Woofinden, Hampel and Hancock. And that race, I think we would have been in for a fascinating last lap.
The last
there.
lap, yeah, it was building up nicely because Woofenden had no real pressure behind him, so he had that little bit of luxury just to start moving off the line and giving himself the options to build more speed, and it was beginning to happen. Hampel wasn't really in the chase, but second time of asking, top quality lineup.
Got to say, there are a lot of British fans that have made the journey here to Prague for this Grand Prix. Of course, it is a beautiful city, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, I believe. And no wonder we're seeing a lot of British fans that have travelled out here for this, to make it a long weekend, as well as, of course, bank holiday back in the UK on Monday, so a long weekend. And what better place to spend it than in Prague?
The architecture is stunning, and it's a very busy place. There's plenty of tourists year-round here. And
architecture?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Through the square, the statues, the church. It's quite a sight to behold, Nigel.
It is indeed. Heat number 4 coming up then. Can Hancock do it again off the outside gate? He has. That is a beauty. Away from gate number 4. Absolutely. Greg Hancock, perfect in motion. Now, can Woofenden use that speed again and put him under similar pressure with Hampel in third right now? Hancock holds mid-track. Woofenden switches up the inside now. Now he's looking very closely to calculate his next move. Woofenden is going to have a real go here, Kelvin.
He is indeed. He's worked it out. He's coming up the inside! Oh, it's going to get tight. There's not a lot of racing room coming into turn 3. Hancock in the middle of the track. Woofenden now beginning to put him under more and more pressure. Hampel lurking back in third place. Oh! Just a clever move there from Hancock, just to drift momentarily off the line, but Woofenden's got a little bit more pace, a lap and a bit to go. Best race of the night so far.
Yeah, Hancock really hanging on in there. He's trusting the outside line. Woofenden tries the inside switch now, but Hancock is made of stern stuff and has got all the track craft and knowledge, and I think Hancock's just about done enough here now. Hancock has used all his experience there. He's seen off Ty Woofenden. Super stuff from Hancock. And Woofenden as well. Hampel in third place, but Woofenden really pushed Hancock all the way there.
Absolutely, he did. He had more speed, but what a ride, a crafty ride there from the veteran American, the world champion. That's why he is the world champion. Greg Hancock really coming to the fore. Second time of asking. Supreme start from the outside. Wasn't quite as quick as Ty Woofenden, but a very clever ride out in front.
Hancock, Woofenden, Hampel, your finishing order. And the winners so far here in Prague are Greg Hancock, Matti Zagar, Chris Holder and Maciej Janowski.
Well, that was right out of the top drawer there. He knew he didn't have the pace, but at the critical moment, he makes a subtle move just to kill the speed of Ty Woofenden, sufficiently enough for him to remain out in front. Great start again from the outside. Tapes up, clutches out, bikes roaring towards the first corner. Hampel lifts too much. That costs him dear. He then gets relegated to third place. Hancock dominating the first corner right round the white line, front wheel over the white line. Here we see Woofenden coming on really strong as the race gets later and later in the minute. Just momentarily I thought he was going to hit the front, but a super race.
Yep, certainly the best race of the night. Ultimately no passing, of course, but
all
really
but
pushed Hancock all but passing there in heat number 4, and it was fast and furious as well.
Yes,
it was good to watch.
It was. That was entertainment, and just seeing the skill level of those two boys out in front was really entertaining stuff. And yeah, we see some more of that. We'll be chuffed to bits.
Let's hear from former world champion Chris Holder. He's made a good start. He's with Steve Brandon now.
Chris Holder, if you want to settle the nerves and get a meeting underway in a good way, Heat 1 was that tonight for you?
Yeah, for sure. I, Gate 4 was looking pretty good, and I really wanted to make the most of that, and made a good start, enough to get across the boys, and yeah, it felt pretty decent, so it was a good start, yep.
Bike working, rider working?
Yeah, the bike's always been working. It's the rider that's got to be working too, but it's early days, but it's always good to get off to a good win and calm everything down and just get it all ready for the next few now.
You have to sit down now and watch 6 more races till you get to go again in Heat 8. Does that sort of frustrate a little bit?
Yeah, it does. Like, once you do the first race, you want to get going, and then being drawn at 4, you got a long break between your first and your next race, so you know, time to have a look at the track and stuff like that. But, you know, I've got to keep an eye on it because it's changing really quickly. And, you know, Heat 1 to Heat 8 is a big difference.
We'll let you watch the next three. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's right there because Gate 1 he's got in Heat 8. And, you know, once you've had a heat win, yeah, you want to just take a moment just to enjoy that. But sometimes it can be a little frustrating to wait so long for your second ride. And he's up against Janowski, Kasperzak and Doyle. Doyle slipping off, of course, but Kasperzak and Janowski also looking pretty impressive in their opening rides. Decent start to tonight. Pretty much as we expected, but this meeting's going to build as the night goes on.
Now, Maciej Janowski, he is with Steve Brandon.
Maciej, first win of the season, nearly a smile now.
Yeah, I hope this is not my last one, so yeah, we have good fun. Bike worked good for this moment, and I have quick start, so I'm a little bit afraid to change something with my setup, but we must be all the time ready to see what happened with the track, and yeah, we see how everything goes.
And you've said to me about your knee that you don't feel it when you're riding. When you make a start like that and you're going that fast, you definitely don't feel it.
When I make start like that, I forget about my legs. So yeah, knee is fine. I'm 100% ready for next meetings.
Long way to go tonight, but good luck with the rest.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good start from Janowski, and of course he did it twice, which is great credit. Beautiful shot, panoramic shot of the city of Prague here, and delighted to be here. And for the next 3 years, the Czech Republic Grand Prix will be held here in the Markéta Stadium as well. We're, what, about 20 minutes drive from the centre of the town?
Yes,
it's a
smashing
perfect spot.
It is, yeah, and it's you know, it's a traditional venue. We've been coming here for an awful long time.
Well, Jason Doyle on that moment is with Steve Brandon.
Jason Doyle, very simple question. Bike problem or operator error?
Definitely operator error. Come in a little bit hot. It's a little bit greasy on the outside, and yeah, I think I just lost traction, spun me around, and see you later.
It's the kind of track here where you've got to really pick your spots, and sometimes following people in with just too much speed is not the right thing.
Yeah, you've got to stay out of their roost, and yeah, there's all different lines around here, so yeah, it's inside, outside at the moment. Making starts is quality, so hopefully I can keep doing that.
Up to that point, happy with how the bike was going? Feel the speed was there?
Yeah, definitely. You had two world champions in front of me and Jarek behind. You had a very tough race to start off with, but yeah, we'll move on and hopefully we'll be okay.
I'm not sure what you said at the last, but just quickly, Gate 4 in your next ride in Heat 8, it's been good for everyone so far.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be good for myself. Yeah, Gate 3, it's a bit of a bogey the first couple of heats, but Gate 4 seems to be working.
Thanks for your time.
Good to hear from Jason after, you know, the incident where he must have been kicking himself, and, you know, good that he can come and talk to us in the aftermath of an incident like that, Kelf.
Very much so. You know, he was on his own. He's admitted that he just probably was riding a little bit too hard. Just back tire letting go. It's an awkward one, a frustrating one. But it is a tough start to tonight. He's got Holder, Janowski and Kasperzak in his next ride in Heat 8. We're about to get Heat 5 underway. Greg Hancock, of course, the winner in Heat 4. He's coming out now, and he comes out of the inside gate, so an opportunity for him to move on to 6 points in his first 2 rides.
So heat number 5 coming up then. Every rider so far has completed 1 ride. Hancock, Zagar, Holder and Janowski, the race winners, with Kasperzak, Pedersen, Woofenden and Batchelor on 2 points apiece so far. And heat number 5, can Hancock make it off the inside gate? The man off the outside, the favourable outside gate, is Thomas H. Jonasson. Now, can he make a good start? Be interesting to see, as Hancock, picture of concentration, no doubt, studying the inside gate, seeing if he can make it work and get maximum drive away from there.
He is, and I'm just looking down at his bike. I wonder if he's changed it. It looks like he has changed his bike, and possibly the first one not quite as quick as he would have liked, albeit that he won the race. And
does sound a strange comment, that, doesn't it?
It does.
You win a race, but it wasn't quite quick enough.
It wasn't. But you know, he rode a very clever heat in Heat 4 to stop the charge from Woofenden. Yeah. So yeah, very clever ride indeed. But he's giving the second one a go to see early doors, if that's the one to be on.
Here we go. Heat number 5 coming right up. Here we go with heat number 5 then. Greg Hancock off the inside in the red helmet colour. Gate 2 in blue is Troy Batchelor of Australia. Gate 3 white. Here is Andreas Jonsson, who's carried that knee injury for quite a large part of the season so far. And off the outside in yellow is another man who's suffered from injury, another Swede who's suffered from injury, Thomas H. Jonasson. This is Greg Hancock. Let's see if he can make it count off the inside gate.
He'll be hoping so. They've done plenty of track preparation. A lot of water's gone down as well. Be interested to see how the track rides. Mid-track, it looks quite wet in actual fact, so be a little bit interesting just to see how track reacts after this prep. But Hancock on the inside could well be the man to beat.
Here we go. Heat number 5. Hancock smooth as you like off the inside gate. That was beautiful. Jonasson hasn't got there. He's at the back right now. Here comes Andreas Jonsson around the outside, but Batchelor nips up the inside for second spot. But the old master, Greg Hancock, has that lead here, looking comfortable. Jonasson's finding it all too much, I think.
Oh, it's fast.
At the back of the race. He's pulling up here now. Thomas H. Jonasson is seriously got problems with that knee problem. But it's Hancock, and it's Batchelor, and it's AJ.
And he's fast. He is absolutely ripping it up out in front. The change of equipment, I'm pretty sure it's a change of equipment. He is roaring away out in front. Batchelor hanging on in second place. The water they've put on the track has made it tricky. One or two boys really spinning up coming out of the first corner. Lack of traction, lack of speed. But I tell you what, no lack of traction and speed for the world champion. A lap to go for him. He's going to move on to 6 points.
Yep, he's going to be a maximum man. Greg Hancock in heat number 5. Down the back straight he goes. Jonasson out of the race and holding his knee. Quite clearly, he is struggling badly. And coming round now to take the checkered flag, Greg Hancock, 3 times world champion, and having a terrific night so far here. 2 rides and 2 wins for the 44-year-old, turning 45 next month. Second place, Troy Batchelor, and Andreas Jonsson adds another point to his total, but you do fear for Jonasson now.
Yeah.
You do wonder whether Mate Kush and Joseph Frank are going to be called into action to cover for him. Here's the result of heat number 5. It's Greg Hancock, the winner, with Troy Batchelor second. Andreas Jonsson was third. And it was pretty straightforward for Greg Hancock from the moment he dropped the clutch.
Yeah, once again, a textbook start from the champion, and he made it look easy. And by golly, did he have some speed in that one. He roared away out in front. Got to keep an eye on the watering here. There was probably a little bit too much put on them because it was pretty greasy and the race got strung out. But look how clear he was into the first corner. Riders in the middle of the track there. Thomas H. Jonasson, you can see just spinning up, and Jonsson also, Andreas Jonsson also spinning up violently coming off that second corner, and that allows Troy Batchelor just to sneak into second place. It looks for a moment there that Jonsson is going to get second place, but then the bike just lets go on him and catches him out. Doesn't catch the champion out. He's out in front, dominating the race, and by the end of the first lap, he has cleared off. He'll be chuffed to bits. 2 races back-to-back, 2 wins, 6 points in the bag, possibly 2 points away from the semi-finals at this very early stage. Frustration for Thomas H. Jonasson. That incident last week in Tampere, that really has put his Grand Prix season under a lot of pressure.
Certainly has. We move on to heat number 6. You have to feel for Thomas H. Jonasson.
Yeah.
Here's Chris Harris, one of 2 British riders in the Grand Prix lineup. And of course, for Cardiff, the next Grand Prix, by the way, in 6 weeks' time, the wild card for that will be decided from the British final at Wolverhampton on June the 15th.
Yeah.
The highest finishing non-Grand Prix rider on that night will ride as a wild card in Cardiff. Apologies for my Norman Collier impression there. As we move on to heat number 6 then, and there we go again. Hampel, Milik, Harris and Everson cross the gate. Here we go, heat number 6. 2 riders on a point, 2 who have yet to score. So a vital race for all 4 riders here. Here we go, going into the first turn then. Jarek Hampel has the lead early on. Good ride from the pole, and charging up the inside is Everson.
Fabulous.
And now powering through in white, Chris Harris really having a go.
Everson
and Everson's coming back for more.
Yeah, good stuff there from Everson. Just momentarily, Chris Harris there, bouncing. Hampel out in front, looking good. He's dominating. Everson responding well here after that incident earlier on for him. Momentarily, Harris into second place. The wild card, Milik, is out the back. He's finding it tough out there this evening. But Jarek Hampel, he wasn't really at the races in his first one. This is more like it from him.
Yeah, much more like it from Jarek Hampel then. Has that lead. The pole ahead of Niels Christian Everson, who battle hard with Chris Harris there. Vaclav Milik certainly finding it tough as the wild card tonight. Niels Christian Everson backing up. Can you believe it? Oh, he is having a torrid night. Torrid night for Niels Christian Everson. Dear, oh dear, and right on the last bend of the last lap as well. But what a ride from Jarek Hampel. Huge credit to him. Fine start. Gate number 1 has worked in these last 2 heats. And Jarek Hampel back to his best in heat number 6.
Indeed he was. The inside gate after the track prep, after heat 4, has come good. And he won comfortably out in front. You got to feel for Everson. He'd ridden really hard to get into second place.
Yep, just to confirm then, the overall standings after 6 heats here tonight. Hampel moves on to 4 points with a win and a third. And Chris Harris moves into the top 8 on 3. But of course, slightly fortuitous 2 points there after the retirement of Niels Christian Everson.
Absolutely. Fabulous start from the inside from the number 1 Polish rider this season, on the evidence of this season anyway. Brilliant stuff from him. Everson comes charging up the inside, then runs slightly wild going into turn 3 on the opening lap. It's tight here. Milik on the outside of Chris Harris. It really was breathe in time. Harris then reacts quickly and gets himself back to second place, but because he's coming narrow, his momentum runs slightly wide, and Everson reads it well and then gets back up the inside as they complete the first lap to retake second place. But unfortunately for the Danish rider, his bike then packs up and he's failed to score in his first 2 rides, which is a disappointing start to tonight. There we see it, just packing up on the end of the last lap. But Hampel out in front, he won't worry about that. Good ride from him, and Harris will be chuffed to bits to have inherited second place.
Well, much more like it from Jarek Hampel. The riders are at the tapes for heat number 7, and what a lineup it is as well. Commiserations to Niels Christian Everson. It's just not been his night tonight. Let's hope he can get back on track and not get too downhearted. Easy for us to say up here in the commentary box, of course. But heat number 7, what a lineup it is. I pointed this out a little bit earlier, and here it is. It's Matti Zegar off the inside in red, Ty Woffenden off gate number 2 in blue, Nicky Pedersen gate 3 in white, and Michael Jepsen Jensen off the outside. Woffenden leading the World Championship, 3 ahead of Nicky Pedersen right now. Looking good after that performance last week in Tampere. This is going to be worth waiting for, I'm sure.
A really tasty lineup. Zegar was hugely impressive in his opening ride. Woffenden didn't win, but he had tons of speed.
Here we go, heat number 7, and it's a good start from Woffenden off gate number 2. Jepsen Jensen goes square, and he's got the drive down the outside. Woffenden looks over his shoulder, and Nicky Pedersen comes round the outside of Matti Zegar as well. Pedersen goes square. That allows the opportunity perhaps for Zegar to gain some ground, but Ty Woffenden, Kelvin, looks super quick here.
He is, as he was in his first ride, didn't get the better of the world champion Hancock. Track still a little bit greasy, but it's not worrying Ty Woffenden. Got to say that Zegar made a nice first corner there, but didn't have the speed, and that allowed Pedersen to swoop round the outside as they went down the back straight. Michael Jepsen Jensen is having a tough night. He's out the back, but look at Woffenden. How much speed has he got? He really does enjoy this Marketa track. Won here the last 2 years, and he is comfortable out in front.
Yeah, Ty Woffenden continuing his Prague love affair here in the Marketa Stadium tonight. Down the back straight he goes as Nicky Pedersen and Matti Zegar follow him with Jepsen Jensen at the back. The British fans celebrate. Ty Woffenden What a ride from the Great Britain man. A big 3 points for Woofy. Second place, Nicky Pedersen. Third was Matty Zagar. Pedersen swooped around the outside of Matty Zagar superbly, but we thought that he had the speed in his opening ride when he didn't make the trap on Hancock. He had the speed, and that just proved it.
Yeah, that demonstrated it clearly, didn't it? He made a sensational start out of gate 2, just cleared off out in front.
Woofenden the winner with Pedersen second and Zagar third, and Jepsen Jensen trailed in at the back. It means that Hancock leads on 6 and Woofenden on one wheel in front of the British
quite
fans.
Clearly doesn't want to go back to the pits, does he? Because he's just celebrating.
Quite enjoyed himself down the back straight now. There you go.
Bit of arm swag as well down the back straight now. It's very impressive indeed, and the former world champion is in great form. We see it again. Absolutely fabulous start. Bike just pulls beautifully to the first corner. Michael Jepsen Jensen gets buried in the first turn. It is still a little greasy after the track prep. Down the back straight. Zagar momentarily in second place because he takes the option just to switch straight to the inside. No option in actual fact because Woofenden gets there in front of him, but here you see he's in second, but hasn't quite got the grip and the speed coming off the corner, and that allows Pedersen to get the better of him as they go down the back straight on the opening lap. Jepsen Jensen, that's a tough first corner for him, stranded in no man's land, but that man out in front, really very impressive, and you just see how much it meant to him. And that bike is flying.
27 Grand Prix points now for Ty Woofenden. Nicky Pedersen's on 23. Long way to go. Something tells us it could go all the way down to the latter stages of the final round in Melbourne, the Etihad Stadium in October. That could well be when the world title is decided late on in that meeting. It's going to be a fascinating battle for sure. As I say, the reason we've got the gap between now and Cardiff is because the World Cup is earlier than ever this year.
Yes.
We go to Poland 2 weeks tonight for event number 1 of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. Then we go to Kings Lynn on the Monday, which is June the 8th, where Great Britain will face USA, Australia and Latvia. Then it's the race-off on the Thursday in Vojens, Denmark. And then on the following Saturday, the 13th, is the World Cup final, where Denmark are straight in the World Cup final. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And then the next Grand Prix, as we say, start of July in Cardiff. Chris Holder then off the inside in red. Matt Sajanovski gate 2 in blue. Very impressive opening ride from those two boys. Christoph Kasperzak off 3. And Jason Doyle out of luck. Can he have a little bit of luck on his side from the outside here in heat number 8?
He'll be hoping so, and the track will be changing now because it's quite slick. And he'll be keeping his fingers crossed that maybe, if he doesn't get there, there's a bit of grip on the outside.
Away from the start, Janowski again. Where did he find that from gate number 2? That was sensational. And now Doyle from last to second with a wonderful swoop. And now Doyle's putting pressure on Janowski as well. Holder is third. Kasperzak is trailing at the back. Here comes Jason Doyle. He's a man on a mission. Really up the exhaust pipe of Matt Janowski. And Holder's in on the act as well.
How tight was it? Holder had to come out of the throttle just momentarily. He thought there was some racing room, and it all got very tight indeed. Kasperzak's out the front. Got to say, Doyle's on a mission, Nigel, as you rightly say. Superb start from Janowski out of gate 2. That outside swoop just beginning to work now, the material drying out, and it really is giving you a little bit of extra grip. Janowski's got it now. Holder, has he got anything left there with a lap to go? But super ride once again from the Polish rider, going for back-to-back ride wins.
Not quite sure how they all stayed on the bike there.
No, very tight, very tight.
Shut your eyes and just hope for the best, I think.
Keep the throttle wide open.
Yeah, it's a win for Matt Janowski. How well is he riding tonight?
Oh, yeah, top.
Jason Doyle was second, and third place there went to Chris Holder. Superb stuff from Matt Janowski. Riding quite beautifully. He's level now with Hancock at the top of the leaderboard on 6 points apiece. The only two maximum men from the opening 8 heats of this Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix here at the Markéta Stadium tonight. Confirmation then, Matt Janowski from Jason Doyle, Chris Holder and Christoph Kasperzak. And now, the overall standings after 8 heats. Hancock and Janowski level on 6 points apiece with Woofenden on 5. Woofenden is still the World Championship leader.
Yeah, that was spectacular from Janowski. Such a great start. The bike leaps away from the tapes. Halfway out, once again, it kept pulling. Holder on the inside. Kasperzak in no man's land here. And it's a brave move from Doyle. Gets that extra bit of run round the outside. And Gets himself into second place. Got to say, Janowski out. There we saw that incident there. It was so tight. Just how close did it get? Jason Doyle running very nearly in the back of Maciej Janowski, and Holder there getting right into the thick of it as well. And it could have very easily have resulted in an incident. But all credit to Maciej Janowski. His composure so far tonight has been top quality. He had to have a restart in his opening ride, and he managed to do it again. But I tell you what, back-to-back wins at this level, never easy, and he'll be very pleased with his work.
Very much so. Sun setting here in Prague. Let's head down to the pits and Steve Brandon.
Greg Hancock, 6 points, 2 rides. It can't get better than that.
No, it's a good start, you know. Still 3 big heats to go before the semis, and points or prizes.
2 starts off gate 4, gate 1, both times, back-to-back heats. Everything was rolling.
Yeah, everything is rolling. It feels good when it's like that, you know. Get a couple of good starts. That's what it's all about. So for me, just want to keep it rolling.
And just a word on heat 4. I saw you and Ty having a little chat with each other after that. It must be nice to have that much trust and push each other like that.
Without a doubt, you know, there's a handful of guys out there that you can sort of run with and you have a good collaboration with like that. But you know, in racing like this, we respect each other. You know, you're going to get a good race. We talked about putting down a good marker with the 6-week break coming up. This is what it's all about tonight for you. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I want to get a good roll here. The last 2 haven't been the best for everybody, but for now, it's just got to keep charging. I got that guy Ty Woofenden standing behind you that I'm trying to catch.
All right, well done. I'll talk to him next. Thanks, Greg.
Smashing start for the night for the world champion. He's had a difficult start. He had an accident, didn't he? Of course, last week, which you very rarely see. And you know, very unusual for a rider of his quality. I can't remember the last time he actually fell off the motorbike, but it's an ideal start for him this evening with the opening 2 rides with back-to-back hit.
Good crowd here in the Marquetta Stadium. Good atmosphere, fans enjoying themselves. And heat number 9 coming next. And we are getting down to the pressure point now when riders come round for their 3rd ride, Kelvin.
Yes.
This is where they feel the pressure. One man who's not under any pressure, he's enjoying his speedway, is Ty Woofenden. He's with Steve Brandon.
I just spoke to Greg Hancock, Ty, about how much fun it could be riding in Heat 4. I'm not sure if you'd call that fun, but a great race between you 2 guys. Yeah, for sure. You know, it's always good when you can go side by side, come into the corner with somebody, you know, and a lot of riders here have respect for each other. So, you know, it's perfect, you know. It's always enjoyable. And a great ride in your second one off gate 2. Yeah, it was a good one. Made a decent gate. You know, we're just trying to find the perfect setup for here. It's a funny place with when they water on the inside, it gets really tough to find the setup. So we're working hard, and we'll see where we're at in a few more races' time. Fair to say you do like it here at the Marquetta Stadium, though. Yeah, I've had a good running here in the past. So you know, but that doesn't mean anything now. That's in the past, and we're looking towards the future. Points make prizes always tonight, and about getting a good score, maybe maintaining that lead going into the 6-week break. Yeah, hey, if I can do the same thing like the last GP, you know, I don't have to win the Grand Prix, but if I can finish on the top points, that's what matters. Appreciate your time, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, good words from Ty, and you know, he's maturing as an individual, isn't he? He's been world champion. Tough year for him last year, never easy to come back and try and defend it, but he's reduced his schedule in 2015 and looking relaxed, looking fast, looking very fit indeed. So hugely impressive, I've got to say. He hasn't won both races, but both times he's been out on the track, Nigel, he has impressed.
Really is tough to call a winner for this meeting, really. The way it's shaping up. Who would have thought Maciej Janowski would be unbeaten so far, and Kasper Zak a little bit up and down.
Yeah, and it's been quite a big change of equipment. I was hearing that he's ordered engines from left, right and centre. He's been struggling for form. He's been dropped by his Polish club, Gorzów. for this weekend, because Gorzhov, the champions in the extra league last year, haven't got a league point so far, so they've had all sorts of problems and pressure coming on, that massive pressure on Polish riders, particularly at home. So I just sense there's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction going on in that camp, but people just waiting patiently now. We've got Heat 9 coming up. Iversen out here, who's had a disappointing evening so far. He's got 3 more opportunities, Niels, and if he can win Heat 9, that will give him a little bit of confidence and a bit more of a better mood, I would think, and some hope that he might well be able to make the semi-final this evening.
Riders impatient, I'm sure, now. They just want to get on with the action to go into Heat number 9. They're all set. Jason Doyle in blue there with David Haynes alongside him, who is based in Bydgoszcz, and certainly that pit crew are working well for Doyle.
They are.
Enjoying his speedway, and here we go, Heat number 9. The riders get set for the action, push down the hill and out onto the Marketa Stadium track for Heat number 9.
Zagar there just preparing himself. Jason Doyle, who got second place.
Heat number 9 then, the riders out there making their final preparations. Niels Christian Iversen yet to score a point. He's off the inside gate. Could really do with, well, it's make or break almost already. That's how much pressure he's on.
It is. Troy Batchelor just coming back, having a chat with his crew, trying a second bite. Zagar there going from the outside. He's been pretty impressive. He had a very good win earlier on. Picked up 3rd place last time. And he'll be looking to see if that outside gate works for him. But Niels Christian Iversen, without any points so far this evening, the Dane, a Grand Prix winner, of course, he'll be looking for a big ride here.
Here we go with Heat number 9 then. Niels Christian Iversen under severe pressure off the inside in red. Gate number 2 is Jason Doyle. He goes in blue here with 2 points to his name. Still a lot of work to do to get to the semi-finals. Troy Batchelor off gate 3 in white. And going off the outside gate, Matti Zagar. Can he make it count off gate 4, which worked pretty well in the early stages of tonight's action?
It did. More than that, he was nigh on unbeatable. And you've got to say that Zagar was very impressive in his opening ride. Got 3rd place second time out, but he started this meeting solidly. Iversen under massive pressure. He needs to come back here, bounce back with a heat win. Doyle alongside him was impressive last time. Oh!
That's a great start from Niels Christian Iversen. He's made it for the red lights are on.
Maybe too good. Craig Ackroyd there. They've done the track prep, but they haven't put so much water on. I don't think they put any water on, so it won't be greasy. But you've got to say that Iversen just not going his way. Desperate to get to the front. And the referee suggesting that he jumped the start there. Will be interesting to see what happens when we see the replay, because he really did make a flyer.
Yep, here we see it.
Head on is not so easy. Not so easy. We need to see from the side if we can. This will be interesting. Well, he makes a great start.
It's a great start. To be fair, Craig Ackroyd has gone with his instinct there, and he immediately put the red lights on, calling the unsatisfactory. So it's all 4 riders back for the restart then. Riders making their preparations then.
Well, the countdown's on now, and it will be riders now just getting themselves prepared for the restart.
Is Iversen unlucky there, in your view?
Yes, I think so. I think he may have anticipated it a touch, but he was stationary when the tapes moved. But quite clearly they felt, Craig Ackroyd felt that he had gained an advantage. He did make a terrific start. All sorts of work going on bikes here. Doyle making his way around to the tapes once again. He'll be looking for points, that's for sure. Hungry for points. He's been impressive so far. Zagar coming roaring up to the tapes as well.
So we'll see what happens then with the restart of heat number 9. Try again here. Iversen, the man who made that electric start.
Needs to win, doesn't he? Really desperate for a win. You could see that possibly, you know, very keen to get on with it. And he'll be hoping that he can somehow reproduce something a bit special this time to make sure he gets to the front. Iversen, a quality rider, there's no doubt about it, but he hasn't been quite as consistent this year.
Iversen off the inside, Doyle off 2, Batchelor off 3, Zagar going off the outside then. Here we go again. Try, see if we can get away. Second time of asking. Iversen under pressure, yet to score a point, knows the importance here. It's make or break time for his Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix tonight.
I'd say he'd need at least a second and then 2 wins. That would put him on 8, and then he may have a chance of making the semi-finals. Ideally, he's looking for the 3 points here. Zagar could be a major danger coming from the outside. The 2 Aussie boys out of the middle 2 starts, they'll be charging hard as well. Start Marshall now is happy. He walks away.
Here we go, heat number 9. This time they're away, and it's a super start from the man off gate 2, Jason Doyle in blue. Doyle has made a great start, and watch out for Zagar again, coming around the outside, down the backstreet, just about squeezes through. Zagar has second spot now. Niels Christian Iversen is passed by the man in white, Troy Batchelor, and it's just not Niels Christian Iversen's night. But what a start from Jason Doyle in blue.
Well, fabulous start from Doyle. A disappointing opening race where he got off the motorbike and failed to score, but he's bouncing back in fine style. Second place last time out, and he's hit the front. Looking good. Zagar charging really hard, gets himself into second place. Tell you what, Doyle can't relax because Zagar's hunting him down. Got to say that Batchelor and Iversen are detached. Iversen really not enjoying a very good night of Speedway at all. He's out the back, nearly running in the back of Batchelor, but out in front, Jason Doyle really going good.
And Iversen has passed Batchelor, and Batchelor's slowing up here. Has he got a puncture, I wonder? Troy Batchelor, in fact, serious bike problem there for Troy Batchelor, but it's a win for Jason Doyle in blue. That's a great ride from Doyle, and really keeps his hopes alive of a semi-final spot tonight. But frustration for Troy Batchelor. Pulls up with bike problems. Zagar worked hard early on there. But Jason Doyle, well, moving now on to 5 points from 3 rides, but effectively 5 from 2 completed rides.
Yes.
Because of his fall earlier on. And he looked good there, Doyle, as we confirm the result for you then. Heat number 9. Doyle the winner with Zagar second. Niels Christian Iversen was third. And Troy Batchelor, commiserations to him with bike problems towards the end of the race. Zagar on 6 now, moves up level with Janowski and Hancock, who have a race in hand. Doyle on 5. That's a good effort from Doyle, how he would dearly love to make the semi-finals tonight.
Well, he was kind enough to come and talk to us after that incident he had in the opening ride, and he's shown great character because he's then bounced back with a second and a win here. Brilliant start, clear down the back straight. Super effort here from Zagar. Iversen there misses the start second time around after possibly jumping it, but touch unfortunate. And he then runs wide, gets himself in a little bit of trouble early in the race, and that allows Batchelor through, and the Danish man there, you can see he's just not settled on the bike, and it runs wide, and that allows Batchelor up the inside, and he then pounces into third place. Doyle out in front, comfortable. Iversen coming on strong late on, but it's too late with Zagar in second place. The Australian, I'll tell you what, this is really impressive stuff from him.
Yep, shown a lot of character to bounce back after that incident in his opening ride. Jason Doyle excluded, then a second and then a win. Zagar looks a little bit, shall we say, concerned by the work going on the bikes. He doesn't look totally happy there, Matty Zagar.
He's in the points nice, though, isn't he?
6 points from 3 rides,
It's a good start, better than last week.
Just a bit. Yep, heat number 10 it is. It's the battle of the Brits here as well, with Woofenden and Harris going up against each other off the outside 2 gates. Here we go then. Heat number 10. Inside in red is Krzysztof Kasperzak of Poland. Going off gate 2 in blue is Andreas Jonsson of Sweden. Gate 3 in white is Ty Woofenden. And off the outside in yellow is Chris Harris. The battle of Brits is on here. Heat number 10, and Woofenden looking super quick in his last ride. He's got gate 3 this time. Can he make it count? Jonsson off gate number 2 in blue.
Yeah. The Swede's going to come up with a big start, you've got to feel, because Woofenden is dynamite tonight.
Oh, he's made a beauty of 3, Ty Woofenden. Absolutely stunning start from Ty Woofenden. And now Jonsson around the outside for second place. Harris is going to try and move up the inside of Kasperzak. A brave move from Chris Harris for third now. Kasperzak is at the back. The lead, though, is with Woofenden. Kasperzak's come back for more to relegate Harris to the back. Jonsson is second. And now Harris goes up the inside of Kasperzak again. Good speedway at the back here.
Yeah, Kasperzak now getting himself back into third place, but he'll be looking for more than this. Harris once again round the inside into third place on his back wheel, looking to move forward again here. Got to say, Woofenden is absolutely fabulous. Terrific effort from Harris, just momentarily into second place. Jonsson responds, slams the door shut. That inside line for the Brit working supremely well, but Woofenden is in a class of his own. Harris coming on, charges up the inside.
Whoa!
What a super ride. Jonsson coming back at him, charging down the back straight. Supreme speedway.
Now Jonsson will go wide. Woofenden has got the race in the bag, but Jonsson is just about going to hang on down to the line. Every point absolutely vital, and that was a terrific effort from Chris Harris. It was almost a British 1-2, but what about that man, Ty Woofenden? 8 points out of 9, absolutely flying, but all the action was behind him. Terrific speedway.
Great ride, Ty, but the action was behind you. We had the eyes on that second place.
Yeah, you were boring, Ty.
Yeah, go and tell him that. Dare you. Super stuff from him. He's in complete control, enjoying himself out there. But what a race that was for second place between Jonsson and Harris.
Woofenden the winner then, moving on to 8 points. Jonsson was second, Chris Harris third, and Christoph Kasperzak, who's having a miserable night tonight, finished at the back, but Woofenden moves to the top of the standings on 8 points. But the maximum men, Hancock and Janowski, will go out in the next 2 heats to try and maintain their record. But
yeah,
Woofenden looking super quick here.
Well, he was, and gate 3 not always ideal, but he has a fabulous run to the first corner and then doesn't put a foot wrong. Great action here. Initially, a very brave move there from Harris to get himself into third place. Kasperzak struggling this evening, just not finding the setup that's needed, and a rider that is much, much better than that. It must be really frustrating for him. Woofenden out in front, he's cleared off, and then the fireworks start to go off, because the battle here between Andreas Jonsson and Chris Harris. Good ride from Harris, an intelligent ride from Harris, because he creeps around the inside. He has to get rid of Kasperzak, who then pounces back on him. And now we see this terrific battle between Harris and Jonsson. Jonsson then, as they enter this last lap, a very hard move from Harris up the inside, runs a little bit wide, very tight down the back straight with Andreas Jonsson. Momentarily you'd think he'd run a little bit too wide, but all credit to the Swede, he covers it. But that man, that's why he's won here the last 2 years, people. He loves it.
And he's on 30 Grand Prix points for the 3 rounds so far. Ty Woofenden and Nicky Pedersen's on 23, Jarek Hampel on 22, so a little cushion for Ty, but to be fair, Nicky and Jarek have a race in hand. Janowski off the inside in red, Thomas H. Jonasson going off 2. Good to see that he's back out and give it a go here. Gate 3 in white is Michael Jepsen Jensen, and going off the outside in yellow is Jarek Hampel. The information that we are getting from the pits is that Thomas H. Jonasson will assess the situation after this heat. He's going to give it one more go to see if he feels as though he can carry on. Janowski off gate number 1 has made a good start. What about Hampel off the outside? Will Janowski take him wide there? Is there the speed? Down the back straight there is. The 2 poles wheel to wheel. Super stuff from Jarek Hampel. Second place Matze Janowski, and the battle at the back is between Thomas H. Jonasson, but Janowski comes through.
Super move there from Janowski coming out of the 4th turn on the opening lap. Brilliant, got that little bit of extra drive and took Jarek Hampel beautifully. Michael Jepsen Jensen's having a really difficult night. He's out the back again. Hampel coming on strong. The 2 poles are really putting on a show out in front. Moving to the middle of the track. Hampel looking like he's really beginning to put a lot of pressure on Janowski out in front. Super speedway race. Thomas H. Jonasson, all credit to him. He's hanging on in 3rd place, but just over a lap to go. The poles are really going for it.
Matze Janowski is on the verge of a 3rd straight win, but Hampel's not done yet. Down the back straight, the drive is from Janowski. Going into turn 3, holds the inside line. Good speedway here in Prague, and Maciej Janowski has pulled off a 3rd straight win in Heat 11. Hampel 2nd, 3rd in white there. In the end was Jepsen Jensen. Jonasson running out of steam. I'd be surprised if we saw him again tonight.
Yeah.
But my goodness, that was a terrific race, and the action is just getting better and better.
Really getting, you know, the heat's really building now, isn't it? Because Maciej Janowski there was under a lot of pressure, but he rode supremely well, showed a lot of class coming out of the last corner on the first lap to get the better of Hampel, and Hampel then responded. That was a super race.
Certainly was. Janowski the winner with Hampel 2nd, Jepsen Jensen was 3rd. Jonasson, unfortunately for him, with all those injury problems at the back on that occasion. So Janowski leads the GP, is a maximum man on 9 points from 3 rides. That is a terrific effort from the man they call Magic, the former world under-21 champion. It was a terrific effort from Maciej Janowski, who managed only 5 points in the previous 2 rounds.
Looking forward to this. This is a super. The 2 boys out in front as they go down the back straight. Hampel just gets that extra little bit of a slingshot as they come out of the first corner. A bit more grip on the outside at this stage of the night. Just on the inside there, Janowski just spinning up momentarily here, and Hampel's got his wheels in line, carries more speed. But what a response from... shame we're not looking at it, because as they come out of the 4th corner on the opening lap, brilliant stuff from Janowski. I think this is going to be it. Yeah, he gets back to the inside. There's a little bit of more drive there, and that is a class move, because you've got to remind yourself that Hampel is no fool on a motorbike, that's for sure. Michael Jepsen Jensen coming through into 3rd place, putting the injured Swedish rider Thomas H. Jonasson under all sorts of pressure. But the 2 Polish riders there really entertaining us.
Well, who would have thought before this meeting that Maciej Janowski would win his first 3 heats? That's exactly what he's done, and the action has got more lively as well. We're seeing some passing now as well, which is always good to see.
Good stuff, and Janowski finished last season in fine style, but that injury early on for the Paul Pirates, got to say that it's been difficult for him to really recapture his form, but this evening he's really looking terrific, unbeaten at this stage, comfortably into the semi-finals.
Now, 7 world individual titles in this race. Hancock has 3 off the inside, Holder has the 1 off gate 2, Milik off gate 3, and Nicky Pedersen 3 world titles going off the outside in the yellow helmet as well. This is heat number 12. Can Nicky make it work from gate 4, or will Greg Hancock be his usual sharp starting self from the inside gate? Here we go. Heat number 12 it is. Pedersen's made a good one off 4 and has got some drive, but Hancock is there, and now Holder will nip up the inside. Chris Holder's nipped up the inside, but Hancock round the outside, and Pedersen comes through on the inside as well. Hancock holds the lead now here. The man from the USA, Nicky Pedersen, is 2nd, and now Holder really having a go on Nicky Pedersen. It's getting very, very tight. This is good speedway once again.
Yeah, it really is. Chris Holder looks really threatening there in 3rd place. Looks like he might have a touch more speed than Nicky Pedersen. Hancock, the world champion, fabulous out in front, really laying down a marker here. He and Woofenden really looking like they've got the speed, they've got the setup. Look at that bike. Charge out of the 2nd corner midway through this race. Pedersen now settles in 2nd place. Holder doing everything he can in 3rd, with Milik, the wild card, really finding it tough. But the world champion out in front, dominating the heat.
Absolutely flying here in the Marquetta tonight. Greg Hancock, Nicky Pedersen 2nd, 3rd Chris Holder. The man at the back is the wild card, Vaclav Milik. But let's salute Greg Hancock. 3 rides, 3 wins, 9 points out of 9. With Nicky Pedersen in 2nd spot there, and Chris Holder in 3rd. And it looked at one stage, Kelv, as though Nicky had got there and made the start. But Hancock's track craft in the first turn, he knew exactly where to go and block out the opposition.
Very clever move indeed. He made the decision to go to the middle of the track to block the move, and then trust that the bike would pick up the grip coming out of the first corner, and it worked like a treat. Unbeaten tonight, Hancock.
Hancock the winner, Pedersen 2nd, Holder was 3rd. So overall now, this is what it means for the meeting. We have 2 unbeaten riders, Greg Hancock and Maciej Janowski, and Ty Woofenden on 3rd place right now on 8 points on the night.
Well, this is another class ride again from Greg Hancock. You don't win 3 world championships just by pure luck. you've got to be quite handy on the motorbike, and this is very impressive once again. Allows the bike to run into the middle of the track, just kisses the dirt there, and then trusts that he'll have the extra speed. Pedersen coming, charging up the inside of Chris Holder. Holder puts him under pressure for a lap or two. Milik is out the back. That's a great shot. Look how hard they're working there. Foot up, back up on the footrest, right foot off the right-hand footrest. But Pedersen then beginning to stamp his authority on second place. But Hancock out in front, 3 wins to his name, super stuff.
Yeah, Hancock looking simply superb. Greg Hancock, 9 points out of a possible 9. Maciejowski as well.
Yeah.
And, well, he just seems to get better and better, the reigning world champion, Greg Hancock. And some good speedway as well. We're pleased to see that.
It's livened up, and it often does here. It takes a race or two for riders just to get the setup right. And all of a sudden, beginning to put more and more pressure on and generating more speed. And some really good action in the last few races. Really exciting. I'm sure the crowd there are relishing this meeting now. A little bit of a break again after Heat 12, track prep. Interesting to see if they put water on, but got to say, thoroughly enjoying this.
Well, let's hear from Greg Hancock, maximum man so far. He is with Steve Brandon.
Greg Hancock, I know it's not, but you make this look awfully easy sometimes.
Well, I'm glad that it looks easier than it feels sometimes, but you know, things are rolling good right now. I feel great, and pretty much the bike's working perfect. It's up to the pilot to make it happen.
I know someone else who'll be feeling great. Maciejowski, a man you know a lot about, really showing what he can do, what you know he can do.
Yeah, it's hard not to be happy and proud for the kid. You know, it's he's been in the pits with me here for many, many years, and just helping out, and now I'm racing against him. So I'm very impressed, but at the same time, I got to watch my back.
For you tonight, 2 more rides to go, but a track tonight that's giving you guys a really good stage.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is Speedway again. We're back to the way everybody remembers it, and for me, it's kind of like, I really feel like this is the first one again, so I got to give it my all.
Quick grade now, gate 2 next. Any changes? Thinking about changing anything?
No, you know what? We've made small, subtle changes for the first couple of heats, and it feels like we're going the right way, so it's not broken. We don't need to fix it.
Back to work.
You got it. Hey to my family, too.
Yeah, Greg's family back in Sweden, and Ty Woofenden just watching track preparation, but he not only has the speed, he's gating superbly tonight as well, Ty, isn't he?
Yeah, it's building up very nicely. Janowski and Hancock unbeaten, but also Woofenden there just dropping the 1 point. Those 3 riders really are in dominant mood. Can't discount Nicky Pedersen. He'll keep pushing right through to the bitter end. Zagar has looked pretty impressive as well, and Doyle last time coming out and winning in fine style. So yeah, this is proper speedway we're seeing this evening. I've got to say that's thoroughly enjoyable.
Well, let's hear from another maximum man, Maciejowski, who's sprinkling a bit of magic around the Marquetta. He's with Steve.
Maciej, 3 rides, 3 wins. Really enjoying yourself out there.
Yeah, everything works good. I feel very good on this track. But we must stay focused to next races and just wait.
And a very good race with Jarek that time. Passed him back.
Yeah, you know, track is good for racing, so we can show people 100% of our condition and our style. So we try to give fans all the best.
That's his night finish.
I just spoke to Greg Hancock, a man you know very well.
He may as well pack up and go home,
won't he? 3 wins, 3 rides tonight. Very
I
good
think there's going to be a gentleman called Mr. Gerhard in the paddock that's going to be a touch nervous.
Next hit we race together. I hope he will be go like half a gas, so he give me some chance.
I don't count on half gas from him. You'll have to go full gas. Get back to work.
Thank you very much.
Great to see him, and Greg said some kind words about Matsy, and we know him as well. He's always very polite and well-mannered.
He's a good guy, you know, and he's been under-21 world champion. He's won the World Cup. He's now a fully-fledged Grand Prix rider, so yeah, he's going in the right direction.
Certainly is. Let's hear from Jason Doyle now with Steve.
Jason Doyle, a great way to bounce back from your first ride.
Yeah, it's wasn't the ideal start. It was a little bit greasy coming into turn 1, and it just whipped me around, and it gave me a bit of a head slam. But yeah, got to bank the points now, and hopefully I can make the semi.
You said to me after the first ride that you were happy with how the bike was. It does look very quick.
Yeah, definitely. In practice yesterday, I had a lot of speed, so we haven't changed it a lot. Just track conditions are a little bit different, a little bit icy tonight. So, yeah, we'll just keep going and see how it goes.
Gate 1, Gate 4 left to go. You're going to have to think about things, though, from here on in.
Yeah, just think about winning.
Yeah, good attitude from Jason Doyle.
I like that, I really do. That keep it simple, and got to say he's a wholehearted rider, and he's done himself very proud. He's done himself a lot of good so far here this evening.
So here we go then for heat number 13. And looking forward to the next 8 heats. This is where the pressure really is on, as the boys try to make it through to the semi-final.
Well, Christoph Kasperzak, it's almost last chance saloon for him. He's only got a couple of points to his name from his first 3 outings. He needs to win his last 2 to give himself a chance of the semi-finals. Nicky Pedersen's looking strong this evening. He's on 6 points and hasn't won a race, but he's there or thereabouts. He's had 3 second places, so he'll be keen to try and turn that around. And of course, Jarek Hampel's out here as well, Nigel. That really is quite a tasty lineup.
So heat number 13 coming right up. Should be a good one. Here we go with heat number 13 then. Nicky Pedersen goes off the inside, currently second in the World Championship, 5 points behind Ty Woffenden now. Christoph Kasperzak is off gate number 2, and there's pressure on KK. Needs a big ride here. Hampel off gate number 3, and Jarek Hampel right now third in the World Championship on 24, and Troy Batchelor off the outside. The leaderboard right now in the World Championship: Woffenden 30, Pedersen 25, Hampel 24, Hancock 23, Zagar 21. Wow. They are my own old-fashioned mathematics.
Brilliant. Got to say, great.
That.
Yeah, well done. Pat on the back for you. Hancock has made a big move so far this evening, hasn't he? He was out of the picture as we came into this meeting, but 9 points in his first 3 rides. That's done him no harm at all. Track prep looks spot on this time, I tell you. Hampel coming out of gate 3, that'll be interesting. Christoph Kasperzak is under massive pressure. Gate 2, the Polish rider needs a big race. Oh, movement.
Well,
movement
the
from
red
Hampel.
lights are on straight away, yeah.
No surprise to see. Hampel was a bit too eager there.
And to be fair, Craig Ackroyd is very quick with the red light. Doesn't hang around as soon as he sees it.
That one was clear cut.
Yeah.
And no real reason for... Yeah, they're going to stop, but ideally I'd like to see them go straight back to the tapes, but they're going to...
Well, Batchelor had a little nibble on the outside as well. There you go.
Yeah, and that's actually what's caused Hampel to just drop the clutch a fraction early, because the movement from Batchelor has almost dragged Jarek Hampel into the tapes. He's a little bit fortunate to get away with that. A few adjustments to equipment as they just get themselves prepared for the rerun. Pressure time now, just past the midway point of the meeting, and got to say that 2 minutes will be on any moment, I would think, any moment. Hampel has battled hard. Great race between him and Maciej Janowski in the last ride.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Super entertainment. Pedersen will be looking for a win now, Nige. He's been in such good form coming into tonight. He'll be really pleased. He's had 3 second places so far, and got to say that the winner a week ago will be looking to try and really up his performance. So, yeah, he'll be looking for 3 points this time.
Yep, this is when the pressure is on then. Heat number 13. Now, the quick update on Thomas H. Jonassen with Steve Brandon down in the pits.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. We're just seeing Thomas H. Jonassen there spraying ice spray on his left knee. He's tried tonight. He's had all sorts of treatment during the week back in Sweden. He's given it his best shot, but it's just not to be. So he's withdrawn from the rest of the meeting and frustratingly goes away with 1 point.
Yeah, disappointment for Thomas H. Jonassen. We wish him well. He has got 6 weeks before the next GP, but of course the World Cup is before then as well. And I just looking down the scorecard, Matej Kush is next in line. So Matej Kush will get Jonassen's ride in Heat 16. And then Joseph Frank is the other reserve at number 18. So that's how it is. Second time of asking, Heat number 13 here.
Yeah.
In the Marquetta Stadium. And a lot of pressure on now. This is the crunch time of the meeting, with Pedersen off the inside, Christoph Kasperzak off gate 2. Gate 3 in white is Jarek Hampel, And Troy Batchelor, who had one or two bike problems earlier on, he ran out of luck.
Yes.
He could do with at least a second place here as well.
He could, and you know, Troy's ridden pretty well this evening, but just that bit of problems with his bike last time out cost him dearly. Pedersen on the inside will be focusing on trying to make that first corner his. He's a good starter, we know that, but hasn't quite managed to get his nose in front this evening. Kasperzak, as we've said before, he's under immense pressure. He's only got 2 points, needs a win, desperately needs a win. Hampel coming out of gate 3 has been pretty impressive, but he got beaten up last time by Janowski. Terrific race. And Batchelor, can he produce something special from the outside? Good race this.
Here we go again, heat number 13, they're away this time, and Nicky Pedersen is there, but what about that from Batchelor? Now he's not quite got enough speed. He did make a good start, but he's gone to third. Pedersen has made it count, and now Batchelor down the back straight really winds it on, and has gone around the outside of Christoph Kasperzak. Kasperzak's coming back for more, closes the door. Real battle for second place, and Jarek Hampel is at the back right now, but Nicky Pedersen got it right from the start.
He did indeed. Great start from Pedersen. He looks good out in front, got it under control. Good battle between Kasperzak. Kasperzak probably needed a point more than this in actual truth, but he's battling hard. The surprise for me this time is Hampel out the back. So tough Grand Prix, such a tough heat. Got to say, somebody's got to come last, but Hampel is out the back. Pedersen in front, really looking good. Battling hard so far, but he's enjoying this one.
Yep, and this significantly will put him into the semi-finals as well. The rider in red is Nicky Pedersen. He's going to move on to 9 points from 4 rides. Hampel's just winding it on at the back to try and make one last effort, but not enough there.
No.
It's Pedersen from Kasperzak from Batchelor, with Hampel at the back, and you could say that is a surprise. So unpredictable, Grand Prix Speedway. And looked for one stage at the start there as though Batchelor had made a really good start, but Nicky had the speed.
I agree with you. I thought for a moment that Batchelor was going to come across from the outside and slam the door shut, but tell you what, it's always tough when Pedersen's in the race, isn't it? And Pedersen was coming from the inside and really stamped his authority on the first corner.
A win for Nicky Pedersen. Kasperzak was second, and third there went to Troy Batchelor. Pedersen moves on to 9, level with Janowski and Hancock, but those two have a race in hand on Pedersen, but enough now for Pedersen to know that he will be in the semi-finals once again here in Prague.
Yeah, good stuff from Nicky Pedersen. Smiles on his face, and he's won his race. First race of the night, 4th time of asking. And this is why. He comes storming out of the inside gate. Great start from Batchelor. Possibly could have done a little bit more there. Possibly, I say. Got to say, Pedersen then was able to get his wheels in line, and he charges down the back straight. Good battle for second place between Batchelor and Kasperzak. Kasperzak, the Polish rider, then managed to get himself into second place, getting up the inside. It's tough speedway. And Hampel out the back, I didn't expect that. I was thinking that Jarek would be challenging for the lead here, but he had a hard first lap and just wasn't able to get himself into the picture. That man does. That's 3 points to his name, 9 in total. He'll be pleased.
Well, you do feel this is going to be a fascinating race for the world title this year. Pedersen, we know, one of the most courageous campaigners, one of the most determined. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
That's
Nicky
very
Pedersen.
true, very true indeed. Good-looking lineup here. 2 unbeaten riders, Nigel.
Yep.
Hancock and Magic Janowski, 2 and 3. And just for good measure, Zagar on the outside. Super racing prospect.
Yeah, brilliant. Chris Harris is the man off the inside gate in red. Changed his bike here as we build up to heat number 14. So let's see how this one goes. The 2 maximum men, Hancock and Janowski, off the inside 2 gates. So it's Chris Harris off the inside in red. Greg Hancock goes off gate 2 in blue. Matt Janowski goes off gate 3 in white, and Matti Zagar off the outside in yellow. For so long, Greg Hancock had Matt Janowski under his wing. Janowski used to have the Greg Hancock 45 logo on his Kevlars. He was such a big help and influence on his career.
Yeah,
and now,
massive.
side by side in the GP, and both on a 9-point maximum. Something has to give here. It's a great start from Janowski. So Hancock is there as well, and Hancock will go wide. Oh, what a move! Where did he find that from, Matt Mats Janowski. What a move from the pole. Janowski has the lead. Hancock's going to come back for more, though. Round the outside, Hancock's got the drive. Janowski with the lead into lap 2 from Greg Hancock. Chris Harris third and Matty Zagar at the back. But Kelvin, that was some move from Janowski.
World class from Janowski, a split-second decision. He chops back to the inside, gets the better of the world champion. Harris in third place is now going to be passed by Zagar, who comes charging into third place. Harris chopping back to the inside. Good battle for third place, but Janowski inspired tonight, suffering from injuries early in the season, bouncing back, looking like he's going to go on to 12 points, unbeaten after 4 rides. Super stuff. Zagar now putting the champion under pressure.
Yeah, Zagar's going to go high into the dirt. Now down the back straight. Zagar's got loads of drive. He's got the momentum.
Oh!
He's up the inside of Hancock, but Hancock holds the line. Janowski's got the victory. Hancock holds on for second. Matty Zagar was third and Chris Harris at the back, but my goodness, for Matty Janowski, that was a stunning move early on to get the better of the man who has done so much for him in his career, and no wonder Hancock congratulates him, and that was a wonderful move, and Matty Janowski is now on 12 out of 12.
Pole's loving that. I wonder if Greg's regretting all the advice he's given him. Fantastic move from Janowski coming out of the first corner on the opening lap. World class. Top class move.
Matty Janowski from Greg Hancock, Matty Zagar and Chris Harris at the back. Now it means that Janowski has a 1-point cushion on 12 over Hancock, Pedersen on 9. Woffington is on 8 points, but this is a magnificent display from that young man, Matty Janowski.
It is, and when you consider the class of the opposition he's passing, he passed earlier on this evening and got the better of Jarek Hampel, and this is fabulous stuff. Greg Hancock there just moving off the line, and Janowski rode it beautifully and was able to chop back to the inside, wheels in line, and gets himself to the front. And that's where he stays. I've got to say, he then shows terrific pace, drops the world champion Hancock in second place, battle for third between Zagar and Harris. But Zagar, actually, the longer the race goes on, the faster he goes, and towards the end he puts Greg Hancock there, the man on the outside in his retro suit from the 90s, puts him under a little bit of pressure. But Maciej Janowski, I've got to say, 12 points to his name. They're rightly so, the team overjoyed.
Well, that was superb from Matty Janowski. He's missed some meetings for pool of late.
They want to keep it going.
Be back in the side.
They want to keep it going, though. It's very valuable points, but when you're in this sort of form, you want to carry it right through to the end and get a result.
So here we go, heat number 15.
Yeah.
And well, it really has been entertaining stuff so far, and you just feel that it's going to get even better from here as the crunch time approaches with the semi-finals and the final. Jason Doyle off the inside in red here, shown a lot of character tonight. Michael Jepsen-Jensen with just a point off gate number 2 in blue. Václav Milik, the wild card, off gate 3 in white, and Andreas Jonsson going off the outside in yellow. Scheduled to be back for Lakeside at Wolverhampton on Bank Holiday Monday in the UK. This is heat number 15, and it's a good start from Jepsen-Jensen off gate number 2. Where's he found that from all of a sudden? That's a great start from him. He manages to just avoid them. Thank goodness for that. And second place now is Václav Milik. Doyle all over the place. Picked up a bit of an unexpected drive and comes back for more. And Jonsson now. This is breathtaking.
Fantastic. How on earth did Jason Doyle avoid the leader, Jepsen-Jensen?
Goodness knows.
I don't know. No. Jonsson then fabulous into second place. It just defied the laws of physics there. Jepsen-Jensen runs wide. Brilliant stuff from AJ. He now hits the front. Jason Doyle out the back. Milik in third place. A wild card. Down the back straight, the Scandinavians really going at it for first and second. Doyle on the outside, fabulous speedway.
Doyle's not done yet either. Jonsson from Jepsen-Jensen. Milik is third, and the man at the back is at Jason Doyle. But Andreas Jonsson has really worked hard for this one, and how Jason Doyle managed to avoid everybody there in that moment of turmoil, goodness only knows. But Andreas Jonsson pulls up a magnificent win in heat number 15. moves him on to 7 Grand Prix points tonight as well. A huge boost for the Swede, with Michael Jensen second and third Vaclav Milik, and Jason Doyle just picking up some unexpected drive and ran out of luck, but thankfully managed to avoid the riders around him, because I thought it was going to end in tears at one stage there. Heat 15, Jonsson, Jepsen, Jensen, Milik and Doyle. Great result for Andreas Jonsson, who needed that in heat number 15, and it propels him up the leaderboard to 7 points into the top 8, crucially.
Yeah, super stuff from him. An opportunist heat, really, for Andreas Jonsson, in the right place at the right time. Coming out of that fourth corner, he was able to get himself to the front. I don't think he's the fastest man out there tonight, but 7 points to his name from 4 rides. He's in with a shout. Here we see Michael Jepsen Jensen, who's been way below par this evening, makes a great start. Doyle! Oh, how does he avoid the back of him? Lifts, there you see it, out of control, rolls the throttle off. How on earth he misses him? Such a good fortune about that. And then fair play to him, he then bounces back for a moment. I thought he was going to get amongst the points. Andreas Jonsson, super ride from him. He comes charging through, gets the better of Jepsen Jensen, and he's out in front, as we've said before. 3 points to him. Very useful indeed, with Milik in third. Good speedway. AJ, of course, third a week ago in Tampere after that nasty knee injury he sustained just before Warsaw. I tell you what, it looks like he's approaching top form again.
So here we go with heat number 16. Niels Christian Iversen has an issue here. Well, it's just been one of those nights for Niels.
It's a nightmare. You know, if he can't get any points here this evening, it really will be a disappointing evening for him. It's 39 seconds to go. Countdown on.
I do hope he's aware of that.
Don't know. I think he was asking Phil Morris, the race director there, how much time he's got. Don't know what they're doing. It's a little bit of a furious work there on the left-hand side. The grip, I don't know quite what it was. Maybe the left-hand grip was a little loose, and that was just giving him some discomfort. But, yeah, had a tough night.
Certainly has. First appearance of the reserve tonight, Mate Kush going off the inside in red as a replacement for the injured Thomas H. Jonasson. Niels Christian Iversen goes off gate 2 in blue. Chris Holder off gate 3 in white, and off the outside, Ty Woffenden, the series leader, in the yellow helmet colour. Here we go. This is heat number 16. Woffenden's made a good one again, but so has Iversen. Now, what can Woffenden do as he goes wide, and Holder comes up the inside, and Woffenden has locked up. The lead here is with Iversen. This is more like it from Niels. Chris Holder's having a go in second right now. Woffenden is third.
Third to first! Iversen now comes back up the inside. Replays the compliment supremely well. Iversen out in front. Woffenden coming back at him. Tight down the back straight. Woffenden, brave but very clever, comes out of the throttle. Super stuff. Iversen out in front. Holder third. Woffenden, can he do anything about Iversen in front?
Well, Iversen has the advantage. Woffenden is second, third is Chris Holder, and certainly Woffenden has a lot of speed now. He's going to really wind it on in the dirt. He's going to have a real go. This is much better from Iversen, and you could argue he deserves this after the misfortune he's suffered tonight. Niels Christian Iversen with the lead. Ty Woffenden really closing in there, but Iversen has the drive, and what a move from Woffenden earlier, and the boys bounce back superbly in the shape of Niels Christian Iversen down to the line.
Wow.
Great ride with Woffenden second and Chris Holder was third. Breathtaking stuff again.
Fabulous.
Heat number 16.
Speedway out of the top draw. It's been a smashing night so far. I've got to say that Iversen showed a lot of character there. He's had a very disappointing evening, and to come up with that sort of ride against one of the toughest men in the world to beat, supreme effort from the Danish rider.
I think he deserved it.
He did, yeah. Pat on the back for Iversen. Woffenden, second place. What a ride. Holder in amongst it as well, and Kush out the back.
So the latest standings then after 16 heats here. Janowski is the maximum man on 12, Hancock 11, Woffenden on 10, and Nicky Pedersen on 9.
Well, he deserves it, and he's had a really tough evening because he's been on his backside, he's had all sorts of drama, hasn't been comfortable, but here they come roaring into the first corner. Holder there in the meat in the sandwich. Iversen then gets the better of it down the back straight, but look at the move. Let's wait and see this move from Woffenden. Again into the first corner. Wiffenden on the outside, Everson there in the blue helmet colour, just about getting the better of things. Holder coming into second place. Wiffenden's miles away. Smart decision from the former world champion. Right round the inside, third to first. Everson then bouncing once again. Good action shots there as they go into that corner once again. Holder on the outside of Wiffenden. Wiffenden finding that extra little bit of drive, but Everson then bounces back. And this is a super effort, showing plenty of character from Niels Christian Everson.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Everson, and well-deserved too, because we know what a world-class ride. Look what it means to him, Kel.
No surprise there. It's been a tough night, a night to forget in lots of ways, but there all of a sudden, just a little bit. He's got one more ride, you know, and if he could win it, 7 points might not be too disastrous.
Yeah. Good stuff. Everson, 4 points now from 4 rides. There's one more round of heats to go.
It's been a good night of Speedway.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Been really entertaining.
Well, Andreas Jonsson can talk to us now. He's down in the pits with Steve Brandon.
Andreas, every win in Grand Prix is important, but you really needed that one.
Oh, definitely. You know, now I got the chance to get into the semis, and as a bad start I got today, you know, I'm still in it and got everything to win. So I'm just gonna try to keep it together and do a good last heat.
Just between you and me, did you make a lot of changes to make that one work?
Big time.
Again, just on a night when you know you've got speed in the bikes, but just not able to find it with the right setup must be frustrating.
Oh, definitely, you know, and I could never dream about this setup what we got now should work, and someone would ask me, I could even put money on that it would never work, and it does, you know. I can't say that I'm the fastest out there, but it works okay, and I'm fighting hard for my points.
You've got to wait till heat 20 now. It's going to be important. Keep an eye on the track, how they develop over the last 4.
Definitely, you know, but I'm happy now that I'm out last in the series, because I'm not going to be, the track's not going to be so wet. You know, I had a bit of bad luck with that before, and it was really, really slimy, and nearly did a 360 there in one heat. So I'm happy to be out in the last heat.
Looks pretty good to ride on now, though.
Yeah, the track is nice, really nice.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, good stuff from Andreas Jonsson, and you do get the feeling if he makes a good start to a season, that sets the tone for the rest of the year for AJ. And
can do, yes.
If he can hit double figures tonight, that's a great way to go into the 6-week break.
Absolutely, and we spoke about that before, about making sure you got something out of tonight, because we got that 6-week wait for Cardiff. That man's had a good night. Had a couple of tough Grand Prix with Warsaw and Tampere, but here this evening in the Markota Stadium, he's been really, really impressive. Just dropped the 1 point to the inspired Magic Janowski here this evening. Just a little bit of patience being shown as we wait for the next round of heats. Bit of track prep, bit of water going down. Been exceptional speedway. Tell you what, sometimes this track doesn't always generate the best racing, but this evening, all credit to the track and the effort that the organisers have put in, because it's been terrific. And I think everybody in the crowd will be thoroughly enjoying it.
Very much so. Good crowd enjoying themselves tonight as well, which is great. Good atmosphere. And it is so tough on the Grand Prix stage, isn't it, Kelvin? Because these boys are at the top of their profession, and no margin for error. Absolutely no margin for error.
No, there isn't. And the difference between winning and losing at this level is huge. And as I say, you've got to be right on top of your game. And with back-to-back Grand Prix, it's mentally demanding as well as anything else.
Well, Niels Christian Everson has had, shall we say, an eventful night. And he's with Steve Brandon.
Niels, I'll keep it quick. It's been an eventful, frustrating night, but a real lifeline in your last ride.
Yeah, it's always nice to win a race, and but you know, it's just one of these days. Everything is just going wrong in the beginning of the meeting, and bending my first bike, and yeah, dropped the chain when I was in the points. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I just got to keep fighting.
It made it very hard to get into the meeting when it starts like that.
Yeah, it is, and you know, when you finish off or start off 2 times without points, then you know it's going to be difficult. And yeah, I have one race left, and hopefully I can get some points in that, and then we finish on a high.
And the yellow body colours there ready. You're going to have to make a big start off that one.
Yeah, it's done before, so why not?
Thanks for your time.
Tough old night for Niels.
Yeah, good attitude there. Has been a tough night, but he's got gate 4. He's got a big Hancock. He'd dearly love to win his last 2 rides.
And speaking of tough, it's been hard for Vaclav Milik tonight, the wild card. He's just found it a little bit too hot to handle, hasn't he?
Yeah, he rode well for Paul Parrots last year. A little surprised he's not riding in the UK again this year. And he's a rider with a big potential. And maybe just missing that competitive edge that he got in the Elite League last year. But his time will come.
Well, what a lineup this is then. Heat number 17. Matt Janowski, the only unbeaten rider in the field. He's out here in blue, and Troy Batchelor, you feel, needs a win or bust. This is Heat 17, and it's coming up in a few moments. Here we go, heat number 17 then. Is it win or bust for Troy Batchelor off the inside in red? Gate 2 in blue, Matt Janowski unbeaten, 12 out of 12. Who would have thought that? Ty Woofenden off gate 3 in white, 10 points to his name and leads the series. And Vaclav Milik, the wild card, has found it hard tonight. He's off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, he has found it difficult, but once again, a terrific matchup between Woofenden and Janowski. Janowski, his bike has just been working like a dream. Batchelor on the inside, it's, last chance saloon for him if he wants to make the semis. 8 points, can get you there, and he'll get that if he can win the race, but up against 2 big guns here. Janowski blue, Woofenden in the white helmet colour. Here we go.
Heat number 17 it is then, and Janowski's made a beauty off gate number 2. He dropped the clutch so quickly there. Batchelor now has got second ahead of Woofenden, who's in 3rd place, and now Woofenden is going to charge up the inside of Batchelor. Ruthless speedway from Ty Woofenden, but is there any stopping Matt Janowski tonight? Woofenden second, Batchelor third, Milik at the back, but this is a fairy tale night for the young Pole, Matt Janowski.
Looking like it's going to go through the card. Brilliant start out of gate 2. The bike working brilliantly. Dug in and drove forward. Supreme, and he's fast out in front. The dirt's on the inside. They pulled it back after the track preparation. He's utilised it brilliantly. Strong move from Woofenden to get into 2nd place on the opening lap. Getting the better of Batchelor, but the race once again is about the unbeaten man. Out in front, the former under-21 world champion, looking like a champion this evening.
On his way to a 15-point haul from his 5 rides. He'll be in the semi-finals. Of course, the winner of the meeting is the man who wins the final itself. But Matt Janowski has got 15 points from 5 rides. That is a sensational display from Matt Janowski. He dropped the clutch quicker than Woofenden marginally there, built up a load of speed, and that is a stunning night of work with the semi-final to come for both those riders, Janowski and Woofenden, into the semi-finals. And, well,
fantastic.
They're going to be something special, you feel?
They are. It's really building up nicely. Those boys really doing the business, but Janowski showing a lot of maturity here, going through the card, 15 points to his name. Great stuff.
Yeah, Janowski the winner with Woofenden second, Batchelor was third, and Milik, who's had a tough night as a wild card tonight, finished at the back. Janowski the winner, 15 points to him. Ty Woofenden is on 12. He's into the semi-finals safely as well. And, well, he is he a surprise packet? We know what he's like as a rider. We know he's a world-class rider.
He is, because he hasn't shown this sort of form so far, and he started very brightly this season in the UK, but then has had that injury, and it's curtailed his performances, but quite clearly the injury not having any adverse effects here tonight, is it? Woofenden rides tough here, has to. Batchelor on the inside there, all the dirt on the inside after the track preparation, and that's where the man out in front utilises, and he's cleared off early doors. Good move from Woofenden to get the better of the Australian Batchelor early on. But that man, can anybody beat him this evening? He's got 2 big races to go. Can he go right through the card this evening?
So, here we go with heat number 18. And Chris Harris here in the blue helmet colour, the Great Britain rider with 4 points to his name, battling away in every single race. And Joseph Frank goes off the inside in red, and it's a Marcel Gerhard engine that Harris is riding. And Kelvin, that's the engine, or that's the same manufacturer that you rode on, the engine that you rode here yesterday around this track.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on with it. He tried it and wasn't quite sure whether he wanted to start on it. He didn't. He started on his own stuff, and that's right. But he'll be hoping that he can grab some points out of this one. Fingers crossed. Nicky Pedersen, of course, won't be an easy man to beat. He won last time out.
Change to the programme. Frank goes off the inside instead of Thomas H. Jonasson. Oh, the tape stayed down quite a while there, and it's Nicky Pedersen off gate number 3, and Harris had a bit of a shove in the first turn. Charging through in yellow here is that man Jason Doyle, but Nicky's got the speed, and Nicky kicks on into turn 3. Nicky Pedersen with the lead. Second place here is Doyle. Third is Chris Harris. Joseph Frank is at the back, and Harris is having a real go now. Chops up the inside to try and challenge Jason Doyle there, and now Doyle needs the drive to hold on to second spot, and Nicky has gone.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from the 3-time world champion Nicky Pedersen. Won last time out, of course, and he was very impressive indeed. Jason Doyle, this might not be enough for him. That crash, that mistake he made in his previous ride where he failed to score could prove to be the undoing of him here this evening. But out in front, Pedersen, 9 points to his name before this race, looking like he's going to move on to 12. Here comes Harris having a real good ding-dong battle with Jason Doyle for second.
Yep, Doyle closes the door. Oh! How did Harris avoid the back wheel of Jason Doyle? Goodness me. Nicky Pedersen, though, has got the race in the bag. Second place is Doyle. Third is Chris Harris. And Joseph Frank is at the back. But Nicky Pedersen kicking on. Moves on to 12 points tonight. He levels with Ty Woofenden on the night going into the semi-finals. And my goodness, when he hits the front, he looks super quick, doesn't he, Kelv?
He does indeed. He's been in brilliant form. He won the Grand Prix 7 days ago, and he's turned his night around here with the back-to-back wins. Looking like he's found a little bit of extra speed later on in the meeting. Comfortably through to the semi-finals. He's going to be a danger.
Yeah, so hard to pick a winner from this meeting, isn't it? Pedersen, Doyle, Harris, Frank, the finishing order there. And just confirmation that Pedersen moves on to 12, level with Woofenden. Hancock has still got a race in hand on those two boys. Matsyanovsky, the maximum man, on form, you would say he's going to win the meeting. But as we know, it all boils down to one heat over 4 laps lasting around a minute.
Yeah, and even though he's got 15 points, not guaranteed to make the final, of course. Must be in the first 2 to go through to the final. Pedersen makes a great start. Doyle there momentarily gets alongside him down the back straight. Harris back in 3rd place. Harris then comes on strong. Got to say, he gave it every chance, that new engine there in 3rd place, and did look like he might well be able to steal 2nd place away from Doyle. Pedersen in front, very impressive. Good battle for 2nd and 3rd here between Doyle. And Doyle might miss out, you know. He might not have enough. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. He'll be really frustrated if 7 does, because just last time out has shown great speed, but just wasn't able to hang on to the motorbike. Super race for 2nd and 3rd, but Pedersen dominant here. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? May well have kissed him going out of there.
Yeah, good stuff from Nicky Pedersen.
Yes.
12 points for him. No wonder he's got a smile on his face, looking nicely relaxed. Doyle has got to wait now for the last 2 heats to know whether he does sneak through.
Yeah, that's 0
He's got a
there.
race win under his belt. But he's going to have to wait. Zagar's on 7, Jonsson's on 7, Hampel's on 6, Holder's on 6, and they all have a race in hand.
Yeah,
so
it's looking like an outside chance. He's going to have quite a lot of good fortune, but he'll be keeping his fingers crossed. Interesting race here. Greg Hancock coming out. Got to say, Kasper Zach's been a touch disappointing this evening. But Niels Christian Iversen going from the outside gate. Got 4 points. He'd dearly love to win his last 2 rides.
I have to say, really enjoyed this tonight. Seems to have gone so quickly.
Yeah, it's
up to
been
heat
good.
19
Really
already.
good.
Michael Jensen off the inside in red with Christoph Kasperzak off gate number 2 in blue. He's still capable of making a trap and ruin it for other people. KK Hancock off 3, Iversen off the outside. Just the 1 defeat so far tonight for Greg Hancock. That was against Matsyanovsky, and away they go from the start here, and Hancock makes it look so easy, doesn't he? He's got the lead early on, and he won't be beaten from here. You just know that. Jensen is 2nd, Iversen is 3rd, and Kasperzak has gone to the back. Iversen will really wind it on in the dirt on the bottom bend, but Hancock has the lead. 2nd place is Jensen, and 3rd is Niels Christian Iversen, who won't give up. He's driving around the outside. Super pass from Iversen, and he's now hunting down Greg Hancock.
Hope you don't have to eat your words, Nige. You won't be beaten from here, because Niels Christian Iversen is coming on strong here. Really strong ride from the Danish boy to get into 2nd place. Kasperzak out the back, the world champion supreme out of gate 3. He's not an easy man to pass. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Roaring powering through that turns 3 and 4, the pit corner. Hancock wide. Everson coming at him. Everson coming on strong. Whoa, time to go, less than a lap. Can Hancock hang on?
Hancock now looking over his shoulder as Everson comes around.
Fabulous move.
Niels Christian Everson with the ride of the night. Where has he found that from? Sensational speedway. I told you Greg Hancock would not be beaten from there. And Niels Christian Everson just makes me look absolutely foolish yet again.
Yeah, you spoke too soon, son. Spoke too soon. Everson must have heard you. You gave the ultimate motivational speech to him, didn't you? Mate, Everson inspired there, despite the fact that Nige didn't fancy him, and he comes through and picks up a very valuable 3 points and finishes strong.
I can't believe it. No, I can't believe what I've just seen. He's rocketed up to 5th in the standings. And with 2 straight wins now, 2 wins under his belt, he is looking like he's going to sneak into the semi-finals after scoring 1 from 3 rides. And now he's got 2 wins under his belt, and he's passed Greg Hancock.
What a ride. Hancock
I need to sit down. I need to sit down.
Have a lie down, recover yourself. And here we see it again. As always, a supreme start from the world champion out of gate 3. At this stage, Everson has to really shuffle the pack. He comes through the traffic coming through that first corner. Again, tapes up. Look at the style of Hancock. He is such a master away from the tapes. His clutch control is a sight to behold.
Never gets past, does he? Never gets past.
Never gets past. From this way, he can't be beaten from here, Nige. Can't be
honest,
beaten.
Kelvin, when I said that, you didn't disagree with me, did you? That he will not be beaten from here.
Well, I thought you might have been a bit premature, and I was just wait and see. No, generally you would suggest that he would, and when you consider earlier on in the night how well he'd ridden in front of the hard charge in Ty Woofenden, but here we see this move. Just running out of momentum here, the world champion, and he's a little bit of a sitting duck. And a brave, hard-charging move from Niels Christian Everson gets the better of the world champion. And Niels will be really pleased with that, because after 2 rides with no points to his name, you could have thrown the towel in.
Well, fair play to him. It was just...
Made a stern stuff,
brilliant.
Everson, you know. Nasty injury last year, has come back. Hasn't had the best of seasons so far, but really dug in this evening.
Yep, a few comments on social media.
Really?
Taxi for Pearson.
Can't believe it.
Commentator's curse.
Can't believe
I'll start the car. Right, heat 20. Oh, it's brilliant. Great speedway tonight. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you are around the world watching the action here in Prague tonight. Andreas Jonsson off the inside in red. Jarek Ampel goes off gate 2 in blue. He needs points. He's only on 6.
Yes.
Matti Zagar off gate 3 in white, and off the outside is Chris Holder, similarly on 6 points. A massive race coming up, and Ampel has made a textbook start from gate number 2 in the blue helmet colour. Jarek Ampel with a win here would go through to the semis, and now around the outside, Chris Holder around the outside of Andreas Jonsson. Zagar's in a bit of trouble at the back here. Jonsson comes back for 2nd spot. Ampel has the lead. Jonsson 2nd, and Chris Holder is 3rd with Zagar at the back now, and the lead is with Jarek Ampel.
Well, Ampel showing great character. What a start he made. Zagar's out the back, really desperate for points. Jonsson there in 2nd place. He's not very quick, but 2 points will probably see him through. Holder in 3rd place. Ampel's got this. This is all about, can Andreas Jonsson hang on to 2nd place? Zagar's fast, but he just got too much traffic in front of him. Holder around the inside. Andreas Jonsson, clever move. Zagar coming through into 3rd place. Smart move from him.
Well, what a move that was from Zagar. It's now the man in the blue helmet. It is Jarek Ampel of Poland, who's looking good here now to take the checkered flag in heat number 20. And Jarek Ampel will move on to 9 points. Andreas Jonsson moves on to 9 points. Matti Zagar moves on to 8 points. And it's bad news for Jason Doyle, because he's just been overhauled there. Jonsson, Ampel and Zagar put Doyle out of the semi-finals, and the 2 race wins that Niels Christian Everson has pulled off in his last 2 heats, by my mathematics, make him a qualifier for the semi-finals. That is subject to FIM confirmation. Ampel, Jonsson, Zagar and Holder. Superb meeting so far. 20 heats gone. The semi-finals to come.
Well, that was a great ride from Jarek Hampel. He failed to score in his fourth ride, but comes up with a dynamite start coming out of gate 2. And I've got to say, he then shows a clean pair of heels to the opposition. Great race for second, third and fourth. Tight coming out of that corner there, you've got to say, early in the race between Andreas Jonsson. Jonsson's bike's not that quick, but he's just getting himself amongst the points. And 9, that'll do nicely, comfortably through to the semi-finals. Holder's the loser here, unfortunately for him. He makes that move to try and get around the outside and loses momentum, and Zagar's ready there to pounce and moves himself on to 8 points, and that was a very useful point for Zagar because that will see him through to the semi-final. What a speedway meeting we're enjoying. This is proper stuff. Hampel looking good, showing class here this evening. Winning that last ride, he's on 9 points. Little up and down, but when he really needed it, he comes up with a big win, and he often does that. And no surprise that he's well and truly amongst the main campaigners this year. Super stuff. What a speedway meeting this is.
Brilliant.
This is super stuff.
And easily the best of the year so far, the best GP of the year. No contest, of course, but it's just... and for me as well, Kelv, what's nice, this track has had a reputation over the years as being hard to pass on.
Well,
Not
Gates's
tonight.
paradise.
These boys have really put on a good show tonight.
And I think that's in large part down to the team preparing the track. We've got Thomas Topinka, who is a very proud man, and he has ridden and plenty of experience. They've changed the material. There's a terrific amount of effort and enthusiasm here for Speedway, and all credit to them, because it has been in the past known as the Gators Paradise, but on the evidence of this evening, Niels Christian Iversen night, he came from the back, didn't he? Came charging through and won a race in fine style.
Very much so. And the race for the World Championship is very much alive tonight now, because by my calculations we have Ty Woofenden on 34, Nicky Pedersen on 31, and then we have Jarek Hampel and Greg Hancock on 27. But it can all change in the next 2 heats.
Oh, it will do. And Greg Hancock has ridden so nicely, so brilliantly tonight. He was well down the standings before this evening's meeting, and with his performances so far, moving on, he's got 13 points from his first rides. I'll tell you what, that's a great effort from the champion, and he'll be pleased as punch, because with the 6-week break before Cardiff, all the riders coming in tonight will be desperately looking for a big result so that they could have that positive feeling before Cardiff, before the World Cup as well.
Well,
Doyle will be disappointed. What a turnaround for Niels Christian Iversen. If that goes unchanged, that is quite a remarkable result for him. He looked like he was dead and buried after 3 heats, 1 point from 3 outings, and then he wins his last 2, and in particular his 5th ride. And crikey, if a man deserves to go through to the semi-final, then that's him.
2 minutes for the boys to get set for the semi-final draw.
Well, Janowski will have the first pick, of course, unbeaten so far. Woofenden's there.
Just confirm the top 8 riders now, and what a story that Niels has managed to get into the top 8, Kelvin.
It is, it's quite outstanding. You know, he was dead and buried, 1 point from 3 heats, and then turns it around with 2 wins, shows the character of the man. Janowski, though, unbeaten so far, now has the pressure of making the pick for the semi-finals. Interesting to see which way he goes. I haven't really kept an account of which gates have been winning all the races. It seems to be fairly even, but countdown time and decision time for the top men on the night. Janowski coming up, 15 points to his name, not entirely sure. Gate 2 for him, he's happy with that. Bike's worked supremely well to the first corner so far. I must say, probably his best performance so far in his career in a Grand Prix, comfortably.
Of his life, I would say.
Yeah.
Although he's won the World Under 21 title.
And the World Cup as well, so difficult to go quite that far, but he wanted Gate 2. Pedersen off the inside. Never easy with Pedersen underneath you, I can assure you of that. He'll never give you an inch. Andreas Jonsson has worked hard. I think he'll be very pleased with his points so far tonight. Bike bike possibly not the fastest, but he's scrapped for his points and deserves to be here.
Toss a coin, AJ.
Yeah, 50-50 call here. Yeah.
Okay.
Gate 3 for AJ. And Zager off the outside. Zager also can produce a surprise. I just sense that he hasn't been super consistent, but he seemed really fairly pleased with the outside gate. So semi-final number 1. Pedersen off the inside. Janowski unbeaten coming off gate 2. Andreas Johnson out of gate 3. And Zager off gate 4. The world champion now with his retro suit from the 90s coming up. He's enjoyed that. They've been lucky ones. Gate 3. Oh, terrific.
Very interesting.
Woofy looks good, doesn't he, Woofy, tonight? World Championship leader, of course. Won here the last 2 years. Big decisions. Gate 2 for Woofenden.
Yeah. So Woofy and Hancock will be side by side.
And Paul, I think, will go gate 1. I'd be surprised if he goes gate 4. Undecided though, gate 1, yeah, that makes sense to me for him.
Right.
And Niels Christian Iversen, well, no wonder he's got us just as quite
the comeback king.
The comeback king. And fair play to him. Nothing to lose, everything to gain for Niels Christian Iversen now. So,
wow.
Hampel off the inside, Woofenden out of gate 2. The world champion Hancock goes out of gate 3. He chose that. He had the first pick, and Niels Christian Iversen from the outside.
It's set up quite beautifully and, well, very, very enjoyable, certainly to watch, to commentate on. It's just been a proper Speedway meeting.
Proper Speedway.
Hugely enjoyable.
And it's flown by. You said earlier on the time was rushing through, and it has done. It's been really enjoyable stuff, and it's been a treat for the people that have flown across and paid for their tickets this evening. It has been a really good advert. I'm sure this has restored a lot of faith in the Grand Prix stature as well. We've had a couple of very difficult Grand Prix, but I think this has really shown and demonstrated what Speedway's all about.
Well, Steve Brandon now is down in the pits area with Thomas H. Jonasson having a chat with us.
Thomas, I know this is not how you wanted the Grand Prix season to start. It's been very tough so far.
Yeah, I'm not really satisfied with this start, but you know, today was something special. I tried to make something out of it, but it was really fucking painful, so I couldn't go through.
I'll excuse and pardon you for the industrial language there, but 6 weeks now that you're allowed to sort of regroup, try and get the knee in some sort of shape to come back for Cardiff?
Yeah, you know, I will try to recover as soon as I can. You know, it's just hard work to do it, but I think I will be on crutches or wheelchair for a while. Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we'll let you get better, and we'll look to see a better Thomas H. Jonasson on track in 6 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, once again, we apologise for Thomas's language there. Quite clearly frustrated, angry, and in pain.
It is, you know, when you work so hard and you get the opportunity to ride in the Grand Prix, for it to be, you know, curtailed by an injury, really is tough indeed. But we've got the first semi-final coming up.
Yep, first semi-final then coming up right now, and we look forward to seeing how this pans out. Mats Janowski, the rider of the night so far, Nicky Pedersen alongside him, Andreas Johnson and Matti Zagar. So, down in the pits area, Steve Brandon with a quick word about Greg Hancock.
Yes, thanks, Nigel. Yeah, just interesting stat on the night. Obviously, 3 wins only out of gate 3 this evening. And Greg, I think, very brave choice to go off that gate in the second semi-final. But he knows what he's doing, but it's a tough lineup when you've got Woofenden and Hampel going so well. So it'd be interesting to see if that gamble pays off for the American. But all to play for. He looks happy, looks relaxed and getting himself ready. So, Kelvin, I don't know what you think of that gate choice.
I think it comes down to the fact that he won races from there and he feels very confident. His bike is brilliant to the first corner, and he's gone with that. He hasn't worried about the stats this time. Here we go, semi-final number 1. Zagar coming out, shakes his head, could well be turning around. No, he continues on. He's from the outside. Pedersen's a big danger. Pedersen's won his last 2 rides, Nige, and I've got to say that when he gets in the winning mood, he can be a tough man to beat, so he's still going to be dangerous. Maciej Janowski will come under pressure. I just sense there's going to be a bit of a tussle going to the first corner here.
Yep, it's going to be tense for sure. First semi-final here of the Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix coming up. First semi-final it is then. Nicky Pedersen with 12 points to his name off the inside in red. Maciej Janowski unbeaten, 15 out of 15, gate 2 in blue. Andreas Jonsson, gate 3 in white with 9 points to his name. And Matti Zegar with 8. Going off the outside in yellow. A reminder, this is the final Grand Prix before the World Cup break, earlier than normal. 6 weeks before Cardiff, which is round 4 of the Speedway Grand Prix. All these boys will be desperate to go into that 6-week gap on the back of a terrific night. The Speedway World Cup, by the way, starting in a fortnight's time.
Good line-up here, Nigel. Pedersen, the 3-time world champion on the inside, rearing to go. Janowski, can he keep it going? Unbeaten out of gate 2.
Here we go, green lights on, and there was a little bit of movement there from Janowski, and Pedersen's got there. Now Janowski tries the inside line, but Nicky Pedersen is there, and now Zegar blocks out the challenge of Jonsson at the back of the race. Nicky Pedersen has the lead here. Second place is Maciej Janowski. Third is Matti Zegar, who's chasing hard after the pole with AJ at the back.
Well, Janowski was a little bit impatient there, just rolled momentarily and missed the start. Pedersen doesn't. When the chips are down, you know he's going to come up with a big start, and he surely does. He's cleared off out in front. Janowski was clever in the first corner, didn't panic, chopped back to the inside, trusted the speed in his bike. He's now in second place. Zegar comes into third place with a hard move on the opening lap, but it's all about Pedersen out in front. A winner 7 days ago, looking like he's going to cruise through to the semi-final, to the final, excuse me.
And these 3 points will put him level with Woffington at the top of the World Championship, with Woffington still to come in the second semi-final. Zegar's got some speed. He's going to really get some drive around the outside. Now, can he pip Janowski on the line? He can't. Nicky Pedersen with a super win. Second place, Maciej Janowski. Third was Matti Zegar. And at the back was Andreas Jonsson, who was beaten up in the early stages of that one.
Yeah.
But Nicky Pedersen is at it again.
He is indeed. Once he gets the taste of winning heats, he can be a tough man to stop, and he's won his last 3 outings, and he's looking very strong indeed. Not only is he making starts, he's got plenty of pace once he hits the front. Good ride from Janowski, because he didn't make the best of starts there, but clever in the first corner.
So Nicky Pedersen the winner then. Second place was Maciej Janowski. They go through to the final, and what a final it promises to be. Janowski leads on the night with 17, and Nicky Pedersen is on 15. But it all boils down to one race, 4 laps, and Nicky's up for it all right.
Yes, he is, and he won a week ago, and he's looking like he's got every chance of winning here this evening, making it back-to-back wins. Great start from him. Zegar tough on Jonsson as they come out of the first corner on the opening laps. Tapes are up. We're looking at Andreas Jonsson coming from gate 3, but it's Nicky Pedersen on the inside. Janowski makes the worst start of the night in actual fact, but has a little bit of good fortune as he was able to get to the inside and stamp his authority on second place. Zegar into third. Zegar just looks momentarily here like he might well be able to make a move, but all credit to the Polish rider there. Remains composed, focused, keeps his speed, but that man there, he's loving it. He's enjoying the best season in an awful long time. Third in the world last year. Can he go a couple places better this year?
Best Prague Grand Prix we've seen?
Without doubt.
19 of them.
I tell you, plenty to choose from, yes. Sport for choice in lots of ways, but it has been named a Gators paradise in the past. Far from that this evening.
The best Czech Republic Grand Prix we have seen here at the Markéta Stadium tonight.
Yeah.
And very welcome it is too. Everybody in the stadium enjoying themselves.
Well, this is
good
a lineup.
Atmosphere, and what a lineup it is, yeah. Second semi-final. Who will join Nicky Pedersen and Maciej Janowski in the final here in Prague tonight? It's Jarek Hampel off the inside in red, 9 points. Ty Woffington, gate 2 in blue. Greg Hancock, gate 3 in white. And Niels Christian Eversen, the man who passed Hancock last time out in spectacular style, is off the outside.
And Greg, we spoke about it. Steve Brandon pointed it out that Greg took gate 3, chose gate 3. Will that be his downfall? Got to say, he made an electric start out of there last time, but he's got some big hitters on gates 2 and 1. Hampel 1, Woofenden 2. Great lineup.
It is indeed, and away from the start they go, and Woofenden's made a beauty off gate number 2. Woofenden has the lead early on here now. Can he make it a third straight win in Prague? Hampel wheel to wheel with Hancock and has just squeezed out Greg Hancock. Everson is at the back, but Hancock's coming around the outside. No room for Hancock. Clever move from Jarek Hampel, has snuffed out the challenge of Greg in third place with Everson at the back. But what a start from Ty Woofenden there.
Yeah, fantastic start from Ty Woofenden. He's out in front. A tough ride from Jarek Hampel, slammed the door shut as they completed the first lap to get a better the American. And Niels Christian Everson, will he pass the American for the second time on the evening? Everson now beginning to really strut his stuff, winding it on. Yes, he does him once again down the back straight. Danish rider really getting it all together late on in the night. Got to say, Woofenden with a lap to go looks like he's going to cruise through to the final, and a really good effort from Jarek Hampel in second place.
Ty Woofenden has won the last 2 Czech Republic Grand Prix here in Prague, and he's on his way through to the final once again tonight. Ty Woofenden of Great Britain takes the checkered flag. Jarek Hampel in second, Niels Christian Everson third, and Greg Hancock has just run out of steam at the end of the night and misses out on a place in the final. Plenty of British fans that have made their way over for a long weekend. It is a bank holiday weekend in the UK, but here tonight plenty of them have come across and are delighted to see their man Woofenden through to the final.
Yeah, and comfortably, and as you've just mentioned, he's won here the previous 2 years, and he would go very close once again to make it a hat-trick of wins.
Woofenden the winner there. Hampel goes through to the final as well. Janowski, Pedersen, Woofenden and Hampel are your finalists in Prague.
Textbook ride there from the former world champion Ty Woofenden. Really making the start of your dreams when you really need it, coming out of gate 2. Hancock there, the world champion, doesn't make a bad start from gate 3, but just is a little bit vulnerable coming off that first corner as they go down the back straight on the opening lap. And that allows the Polish rider Jarek Hampel, who would have probably been really pleased to have had the inside gate. And he takes full advantage of it, and he gets the better of the world champion, and he's through to the final. Niels Christian Everson, who's had a very much an up and down night this evening, he gets the better of Hancock later on in the race and picks up a consolation point in the semi-final. But it's Woofenden and Hampel through to a really big final. Well, Ty Woofenden now just taking the weight off his feet. 15 points to his name. That's good work so far. People on holiday here, but these boys are flat out at it, of course. And 11 points from Jarek Hampel, showing a lot of character tonight, because had a couple of indifferent rides. And he's battled really hard, and he'll be pleased to make 2 consecutive finals. Of course, the Polish rider had a real dip in form last year, but turned it all around late in the year with an outstanding performance, and secured his Grand Prix future. But a little bit of patience required now. What an exciting night we've had. It really has been a treat for us all, and we have got a fabulous lineup for the final.
Very much so. Looking forward to it. We'll be on with the action in the not too distant future. The boys will get up and have a look at what gate they're going to pick. Jason Crump won here 3 years on the trot, 2002 to 2004. Can Woofenden make it 2013 to 2015? He can.
He can.
But there's 3 other guys who are going to have a big say in that.
Right now, it's got a 25% chance. And got to say that Nicky Pedersen has also won here 3 times, so he'd like to win for the 4th time, I'm sure, but he'll be really pleased to have made 2 consecutive finals. Can he make it 2 consecutive Grand Prix wins in 7 days? Yep. So, yeah, people excited, the Polish fans there, American flags, a real international flavour in the crowd, and people enjoying themselves. It's been A really good night of Speedway. Really good to see that people are enjoying the action. It's been comfortably, without question, the best Grand Prix we've had so far, and a real tonic for everybody concerned. Here we go now for the final. Ty Woffinden up, no hesitation. Gate number 2 for Woffinden. Nicky up next, enjoying himself. No surprise, he's got to go for gate 1. Surely won the semi-final from there comfortably. Yep, no surprise to see Nicky P going from the inside gate. Janowski unbeaten prior to the semi-final. Gate 3 for him. And Hampel off the outside. It's a sensational lineup, really is.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know, the surprise package, you would say, is Janowski. I'm not suggesting he wasn't capable of this, but with the injury problems to come through. So Nicky Pedersen off the inside, Ty Woffinden off gate 2, Maciej Janowski out of gate 3 in white, and Jaroslav Hampel going from the outside gate in yellow. It's been great stuff, and looking forward to it now.
So, what a final it is. Nicky Pedersen, Ty Woffinden, Maciej Janowski and Jarek Hampel. It really has been a super Czech Republic Speedway Grand Prix tonight. And let's hope for a terrifically entertaining final as well. Pedersen and Woffinden side by side on the grid. Maciej Janowski just outside Woffinden, and Hampel, who just scraped through Jarek Hampel with a 2nd place in his 5th ride. Now, Greg Hancock has been good enough to join our man in the pits, Steve Brandon.
Brave call to take gate 3, and it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, that's right. I had a good run in gate 3, the last heat before that, and I had a little carburetor misfault there at the start. It started to flood, and don't know why, but it blew my concentration completely, and I blew it. So, yeah, it happens.
World Cup up next, a great chance to make America shine.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's get this night over with right now and get the thing to that.
Just, I know you're not a betting man, but who's your money on now?
Well, you know, I mean, it's anybody's game at the moment, the way these guys are all going, and the night has been kind of like that, so it's hard to call. But, you know, I mean, I have a little bit of a feel for Mr. Janowski right now.
I was just going to ask you about the young Polish gentleman. He's had a great night, really showing what he can do at this level.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's up against some very stiff competition there, and, you know, Ty's on a mission, and so is Nicky, so it's going to be tough for him. But the kid's definitely got it going on, and there was no doubt that he was going to be here someday.
As always, credit to the sport. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, classy stuff there from Greg Hancock, and you know, I'm sure he's got a soft spot for Maciej Janowski, of course. But
quite right too.
Absolutely, he's spent a lot of time with him, and clearly has mentored him brilliantly, because now the man is really blossoming. Nicky Pedersen pushing off. What a final this is. This really is going to be entertaining stuff. We've enjoyed a fabulous Grand Prix. It really has been a treat for us.
So, who is going to win this Grand Prix here in Prague tonight? Will Mr. Woffinden make it 3 on the trot here in the Markéta Stadium? It really is going to be a terrific final, you feel.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Janowski, who has really been flying, has only dropped 1 point all night. That was in the semi-final. Thoroughly deserves his place in the final. But remains to be seen whether he can see it through here for a first ever Speedway Grand Prix win. Maciej Janowski.
Well, it's really, you know, like the top 2 in the standings. You know, Pedersen and Woffinden going head-to-head once again. They were last week. And Pedersen got the upper hand by winning the Grand Prix. And he gets the inside gate. So it's an interesting tussle there. But Janowski, I'm sure he would dearly love to win his first Grand Prix here this evening.
What a lineup it is. 3 times world champion Nicky Pedersen going off the inside in red from Denmark. Great Britain's Ty Woffinden, 2013 champion, gate 2, blue. Maciej Janowski, top scorer on the night, gate 3. And Jarek Hampel, who just edged through to the semi-finals in his 5th ride with a fine effort to really retrieve his night. He's in the final off the outside in yellow as well.
Yeah.
And with
great lineup, really
Pedersen
great
and
lineup.
Woffinden going head-to-head at the top of the World Championship leaderboard. 3 points in favour of Ty at the moment. Who will be the World Championship leader going into the World Cup break Will it be level? Or will Woofenden take that lead? Here we go. It's the grand final. Movement to the start, and the referee has put the red light on straight away.
Janowski.
I thought Magic was a little bit too keen there.
Janowski clearly moved too early, and no surprise, real tension on the start line there. It's biggest race of the night, of course, and I'm sure once we see the replay we'll be able to clearly identify the fact that the Polish rider, white helmet colour, moved very early indeed. Touch fortunate that he didn't touch the tapes.
Oh,
very close indeed, very, very close indeed. So we'll just have a small pause. This is a great lineup, and the battle between Nicky Pedersen and Woofenden is an interesting one there. You know, the dynamic between the two characters. I don't think there's a lot of love between the two. I don't think that's overstressing that. I think that Nicky Pedersen beat Woofenden to third place in the world.
In a runoff in
Torrent. So, you know, Nicky will have that in the back of his mind. He's won his last 3 races, Pedersen, and he's turned his fortunes tonight. He's been very consistent, but he's winning races now, and once he gets a taste for it, he's a tough man to beat. And he very, very rarely misses the start when the chips are down, Pedersen. So you know Woofenden's going to be under pressure going to the first corner.
And there's one thing about those two boys, Nicky and Ty, and I'm not saying the other boys don't do it, but Nicky and Ty are both proper athletes as well.
Oh, yes.
Back in the UK, Ty trains at a gym in Derby regularly. Nicky's hitting the gym regularly on his off days, on his days off, I should say. They are proper athletes.
They are indeed, and you only have to take a look at them in the pits. They are really in good shape. They're lean, fit, and Pedersen actually, you know, paid a big tribute to his fitness regime, because he had an RC incident a week or two ago and bounced back just before Tampere. And that's what it does for you. And it's not just the physicality, it's also mentally. It can really make you believe you can win races, and they're evidence of it, those two boys on the inside. Janowski, of course, a young charger. I'm sure he's in pretty good shape as well. And Jarek Hampel, I tell you what, he's no slouch. He looks like he's trained hard this winter, and no surprise to see him in the final once again. Boys settling down, Nige. Real tension. Been a really smashing night of Speedway, a real good advert for the sport.
Here we go with the grand final then of the Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Pedersen off the inside, Woofenden off 2, Janowski goes off gate number 3, and Jarek Hampel is the man going off the outside gate. It's very tense, and 1 or 2 mind games perhaps going on here as the riders prepare for the action. And Craig Ackroyd will be keeping a close eye here.
22 seconds to go. Woofenden back at tapes. Hampel just hanging back. Nicky Pedersen just adjusting his clutch. It's nervous. It's tense. It's who's going to line up first. Pedersen moves forward. Woofenden hanging back. Last one in. It looks like we're getting ready now.
Here we go then. Craig Ackroyd with his finger on the button. It's the grand final here in Prague. Green light is on, and away they go, and Woofenden's made a good one, but so is Janowski. Now Woofenden holds the inside line and has lost it momentarily. He's got the drive. Oh, and Pedersen almost clipped the back wheel of Janowski. It's now Woofenden with the lead. Mats Janowski second, Jarek Hampel third, and Nicky Pedersen is at the back, and Ty Woofenden has a handy lead going into lap 2.
Yeah, and he got away with a mistake there. He got a little bit of extra drive midway through the first corner, lifted, went wide, and was able to hang on out in front. Janowski into second place. Nicky Pedersen got beaten up on that opening lap. Woofenden out in front. The two Polish boys in second and third coming at him really hard. Hampel trying wide, desperately trying to find a little bit of extra speed. Pedersen's out of it. Woofenden, can he make it a hat-trick of wins here in the Marketa Stadium? Hampel now getting the better of Janowski. Brilliant move.
Going into the final lap, it's Ty Woofenden of Great Britain. Jason Crump won here 3 years on the trot in the early 2000s, and now Ty Woofenden of Great Britain has made it 3 straight wins in the Marketa Stadium, Prague, in the most dramatic style. And Ty Woofenden of Great Britain goes into the World Cup break and goes to Cardiff for the next round of the World Championship in 6 weeks as the World Championship leader. It's many congratulations to Ty Woofenden.
Fabulous night of Speedway. Really have been entertained all night long. Great start from Ty Woofenden out of gate 2. Showed a clean pair of heels to the opposition. Fabulous effort there in second place from Jarek Hampel to pass Maciej Janowski, and Nicky Pedersen just wasn't able to make the start. So very often he does when the chips are down, but he missed it that time. Woofenden now stretches his lead in the World Championship. He's got a 6-week wait now, of course, before they all come together in Cardiff in the Millennium Stadium. What a night of Speedway, and what a win for Woofenden.
Woofenden the winner, Hampel second, Janowski was third, and Ty Woofenden now wins the meeting, joint top scorer, and is the clear leader in the World Championship.
Yeah, it has been a special night, that's for sure, and it's an extra special night for that man. To win one Grand Prix is a feat in itself. To come back to a venue and win 3 years on a trot, Crumpy did it, Woofy's done it tonight. Really is an exceptional effort indeed. Woofenden really has rededicated himself this winter, got himself in great shape, has turned up relaxed, really looking forward to racing, enjoying his racing. Second last week, a winner this week. What a night of Speedway. Hampel also back to top form. Great ride from him, Nigel, to get the better of Janowski. I tell you what, that I have thoroughly enjoyed that. Really has been extra special. Not often the case here, but tonight, I tell you what, the Marquetta has done itself proud. Tapes up. What a start from Woofenden. Charges to the first corner. Janowski's there. Hampel's out the back. Pedersen just in no man's land. Just can't get the better of it coming away from the inside. This is where the race is won for Woofenden. The hard yards to the first corner. The bike absolutely driving hard. Dictates that first turn, but very nearly threw it away with a little bit of extra drive as they come off the corner and they go down the back straight. Then what an effort from Hampel. Hampel around the outside of Janowski. Janowski fair there, giving him racing room, and the Polish man Hampel gets himself into second place, with Janowski relegated to third night, but it's been a great night for Maciej Janowski. Pedersen will be disappointed, but when he reflects on the points he's scored, I'm sure he won't be too downhearted.
Well, what it does mean, significantly, that last place for Nicky. This man, Ty Woofenden, is now on 40 points in the Grand Prix Series.
6 points up.
Nicky Pedersen is on 34. It's a 6-point lead in the World Championship for Woofenden. A third straight win in Prague, and he is with Steve Brandon.
Ty Woofenden, 3 wins in a row in the capital city in the Czech Republic. Amazing performance.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know. My old boy's probably up there looking down on me when I come here, but massive thanks to all the fans for turning out. There's loads of Union Jacks out here, and thanks to all the other fans that were cheering for me. But call me Bill Gates around this track.
It puts you in pretty exalted company in a group of 2 that have won 3 in a row here. Jason Crump, amazing career he had. If you emulated that, you'd go away from Speedway a happy man, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure, you know, Crumpy's the man, and hey, I'm speechless. Thanks, everybody. Love yous all.
I'll ask you one more question. 6 weeks now to dwell or think about the build-up to Cardiff. You're going there as World Championship leader, 40 points, right where you want to be in 2015.
Yeah, definitely, you know, leading the championship going into Cardiff, that's going to be some cheer from the fans. Looking forward to it.
And just a real quick word, World Cup up next for Great Britain?
Can't wait, bring it on.
Right, well done tonight, many congratulations.
Brilliant from Ty. Great stuff. So let's just confirm. Here we go. Ty Woofenden on 40, Nicky Pedersen on 34, Jarek Hampel on 31 now, and Greg Hancock rockets up to 27 tonight as well. So great stuff here tonight, and what a meeting as well. Some fantastic speedway. Really great to see. Here is Ty Woofenden. Many congratulations to this young man. It's only the 4th Grand Prix win of his career and the 3rd here in Prague. And it's time for the British national anthem. Well, emotional scenes. Fantastic. Brilliant speedway all the way tonight as well. Absolutely delighted to see such a fantastic night of speedway. Congratulations, Matt Sianowski. What a super night he's had. His best Grand Prix. And really good to see Matt Sianowski enjoying himself as well. Excellent. And Jari Campbell, well, he had to dig deep. Really had to dig deep there, and he managed to come through and deliver the goods when it mattered. And now the man of the moment, the winner here of the Czech Republic FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Tai Woffinden of Great Britain wins here in the Czech Republic. So, congratulations, Tai Woffinden. A really terrific night. Well, it really was the best Grand Prix that we've had here in the Marquetta Stadium for sure. We move on to Cardiff in 6 weeks' time. And let the celebrations begin here, quite right too. They've earned it, these boys. It's been a tough night in many ways, purely because of the competitive nature of the meeting. Really has been so tough. It's the podium here. The riders will then head down. The top three will head down just below where we are to the press conference room, where they'll meet the assembled press that are here in the stadium tonight. Magic Janowski, where did he find that form from tonight? It really was superb. And I'm quite sure that there'll be a few extra people who fancy heading to Cardiff. First Saturday in July. July the 4th at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And this man of Great Britain, born in Scunthorpe in Great Britain, spent most of his childhood as a boy in Australia, but then the family came back across to Europe. When he was 15, dedicated his life to Junior Speedway with Scunthorpe in the UK, rode for Rye House in the second division, Wolverhampton in the top flight. Now reducing his schedule and seems to be paying off. He just rides in Poland and Sweden as of now. But he will be at Wolverhampton on June the 15th for the British final. So I'm sure there'll be a bumper crowd there as well. Well, what a sweet moment this is for Tai Woffinden. 3 in a row. Jason Crump did it, as we say, 2003, 2004 and 2005. Crumpy did it. So tremendous, absolutely tremendous. Fans enjoyed it. So really pleased for this man. Wherever you are around the world tonight, I really hope you've enjoyed our coverage as well. Kelvin and myself have really enjoyed it. A little bit over the top at times with our excitement, but hey, that's Speedway. It's an adrenaline-fueled sport. And certainly the standard of the drama, the action, and the way I said Greg Hancock will not be passed, and he was passed by Niels Christian Iversen. And, well, really has been the best Prague Grand Prix that we've had, I think. New contract for 3 more years here as well. So that'll take us to 22 years in Prague. Next year, in June, will be the 20th staging here at the Marquetta Stadium, which is great. Joe Parsons of Monster Energy with Woofy there. From the Monster stable with Greg Hancock, Chris Holder, all part of the Monster stable. Darcy Ward, who's due back in Speedway in the next 5 weeks as well, after his suspension. Well, what a night. Tremendous night of Speedway here in the Marquetta Stadium. And Ty will enjoy this for sure. A lap of honour. Kelvin, thanks very much for your company tonight. We'll see you at the World Cup 2 weeks tonight, and catch up with you soon. Well, fans are enjoying themselves. They've not all left the stadium as yet. Particularly the British fans who've made a long weekend of this, which is terrific. So well done to all the riders tonight, the boys in the top three. My thanks to my colleague Kelvin Tatum, and we'll see you for World Cup action 2 weeks tonight and at Cardiff in 6 weeks' time. Round number 3 of the World Speedway Championship at one of the most picturesque cities in the world, Prague, and the Marquetta Stadium, the 19th successive year that the SGP Tour has come to this magnificent city. Top of the leaderboard saw Greg Hancock just ahead of Nicky Pedersen in the World Championship standings, and the action was very tense and very tight early on. Niels Christian Iversen coming to grief, had to pick himself up and dust himself down, and Thomas H. Jonasson suffering with the effects of a knee ligament injury from last week in Finland. A beautiful sunny evening as well, and a good crowd enjoying themselves. Jason Doyle admitted it was his fault when he came to grief in that one, and he was disqualified from a rerun. Ty Woffenden started well. Mats Janowski was the real star attraction early on. The pole really hitting some superb form with 5 straight wins. It really was a night to remember for Mats Janowski. The battle for the top 8 went down to the wire as well. It was a tense wait for some as they waited to see if they would just make the cut and make it into that top 8. Jarek Hampel really worked hard. Niels Christian Iversen somehow, someway managed to salvage his night as well with 2 wins late on, but there was no stopping Mats Janowski in the 15-point maximum that he had from his 5 rides early on. Greg Hancock as well at his majestic best from the start, but beaten by Mats Janowski's protege for the first time. Into the semi-finals, Janowski went for gate number 2 in that first semi-final. Nicky Pedersen off gate number 1, really getting stuck in away from the start. It was a tough, tense battle in that first semi-final. Pedersen kicking on and taking the victory. Second semi-final, Woffenden making no mistake at all off gate number 2 and going through to the final in Prague. Still hopes alive of a 3rd successive win in the Czech Republic capital. And from gate 2, it was Woffy all the way, and he leads the World Championship by 6 points. Cheers, Steve.